What's up, my dudes? It's a Vigorous Q&A again. It's been 3 freaking weeks since we did one of these, but I've been kind of busy with the daddy and parenting stuff. But here we are again. I know you guys missed me, so might as well do another Vigorous Q&A and get through all of those performance-enhancing drug questions. First couple updates. Link down below. Subscribe to the Clips channel. We're at 6,000 subscribers now. The more the merrier. That's almost covering for the extra editor that I had to hire to get all of these clips for you guys done. So we're slowly working our way back in time. So all the most recent clips are already there. And then we're slowly going back to 2024, 2023, 2022, and then maybe 21 and 20, if I feel those videos are still clippable, worthy of putting on the Clips channel. And otherwise, at least all of the deep dives, all of the long-form content will be nicely chopped up on the Clips channel. Maybe 1 clip, 2 clips, 4 clips, 7 clips, who knows? Then you can digest it a little bit easier. All right, on Drew, what was it? Drew Donaldson's training method. I did a podcast about 3 weeks ago. So in the last Vigorous Q&A, I told you guys to subscribe to that channel. And now the podcast is finally live. It's been live for 3 weeks. But now it's linked down below in case you haven't watched it yet. We discussed all kinds of different things like mitochondrial peptides and retrotide and basically everything that we've been talking about on this YouTube channel for the last couple of years. So that was interesting. And I also did a podcast with Mike Thurston and Vadim Vedetov for the HackU podcast. We recorded that last week, so I suspect that will go live on their YouTube channel next week. That was a very interesting discussion, again, about, what it is to be natural, what it is to go from natural to enhanced, because allegedly Mike Thurston is still natty, even though it's hard to believe, which I told him on the podcast as well. And we discussed all kinds of biohacking methods to kind of improve your overall quality of life. So that was discussed, and that's pretty much it. That's all of the content that I produced. I came to a couple moments where I sat down wanting to record, and then some crying came in the way, or some bottle feeding came in the way, and I've been looking at motorbikes and modifying my motorbike quite a little bit much. And I bought another motorbike, doing that stuff. So not much new content. Hopefully next week we finally sit into some sort of routine now. So hopefully next week we can actually sit down and record some new content again. Because I did do a good amount of scripts. So when I get back into the groove of recording, then there's plenty of scripts that I could record and then send off to the editor for you guys to enjoy watching. So without further ado, let's get into it. Let's see. Nobody was complaining about the audio quality, so I'm sure it's fine. Let's do the disclaimer real quick, and then we can go right into the drug questions. Alrighty then. Let's get started with just one from Jam Jam. Hey, Vader Steve, or Vader Steve. Vader is Darth Vader, obviously, but Vader is Vader, means father in Dutch. Do you have any insights in however you pronounce that, Kirindia? I've never heard about that, so I Googled it real quick. Apparently, it's a mineralocorticoid receptor antagonist prescribed in chronic kidney disease associated with type 2 diabetes. And it's not something that I really am familiar with or looked into or have any knowledge about. So I'm sorry, Jam Jam, can't really help you there. It's beyond my scope. Maybe ask somebody else. $50 from Functional Fatness. We're off to a right start. Steve, I found your videos recently and cannot stop watching. Thank you for all of your hard work in setting a proper standard for all of us to uphold. I'm trying to do my part, man. Many congratulations on the birth of your daughter. You deserve the best of everything. Yes, thank you. Thank you. I like the best of everything. That's always a good goal to strive by. The best or nothing at all. For morning intramuscular injections with L-Carnitine, is there more value in doing fast cardio or taking tiny amounts of calories to spike insulin, which literature suggests accelerated uptake in the muscle? Yeah, so insulin helps with carnitine uptake, just like it helps with creatine uptake. You can spike insulin with exogenous insulin or leucine or isoleucine, which are quite insulinotropic of the branched chain amino acids and the amino acids in general. Or you can rely on skeletal muscle contractions, which also help with carnitine and creatine absorption. So instead of doing a small spike of insulin from BCAAs or maybe a tiny amount of glucose or exogenous insulin, you can just do the cardio and have absorption that way. And whatever isn't absorbed during the cardio will be absorbed as soon as you have breakfast. So maybe it's not really available during the cardio session or only partially available, as long as you have a slight insulin spike with breakfast, and that can come from eggs or just any animal meat source, but eggs is a little bit insulinotropic because it digests quite readily. And then obviously if you have some carbs with breakfast like rice or potatoes or oatmeal or whatever you prefer, that surely will release some insulin, so you already get that insulin response. And then, a glass of fruit juice goes a very long way. But I wouldn't worry about it, man. Just take your L-Carnitine, shut the fuck up, go do cardio, and you'll be fine. I've done it like this for years, and I still lost fat just the same way. And again, carnitine is just an optimizing way for, let's say, medium and long-chain triglycerides to enter the mitochondria for energy production into ATP. And obviously, you still need to be in a caloric deficit. You still need to take some fat burners. You still need to do the actual activity. It's just one of the pathways on the step from adipose tissue to ATP generation that needs to be optimized. And, there's a lot more other things you can optimize, like injecting methionine and acetylcholine combinations, which helps also with the transport of fatty acids. So L-carnitine is just one part of the puzzle. Methionine and acetylcholine injections can be part of the puzzle. A MIC blend. Many of the affiliates that I work with, like Modern Aminos, for example, or Somachem, they sell L-carnitine and MIC blends for research purposes. You guys know what I'm talking about. So if you want to research that compound, then head over to the source list and find your way over. Use one of the discount codes to save yourself some money. And then you'll be okay, bro. And you'll be glad that you spend $50 here and an extra $50 there. All right, let's move over. Oh, another question. I take 15 calories of glucose tablets with L-carnitine pre-workout, and I've set incredible PRs on my 5K row. Okay, 5-kilometer row. Curious if I'm leaving metabolic cards on the table by breaking my morning fast. Down 50 pounds, 50 to go. Thank you. So 15 calories from glucose tabs. I wouldn't worry about it. If you're doing a 5-kilometer row or a 5-mile row, 15 calories is negligible. And you're down 15 pounds, so it's clearly working. But I wouldn't worry about it too much. I think you can get the same results, exact same results, if you don't take the glucose tabs. Give that a try for 2 weeks, and you'll see that you'll lose fat just the same. But you save money on the glucose tabs. Vigorous going lying bathmate protocols are handy. Let's get it. Man, I haven't touched this bathmate. It's right here. I haven't touched this thing. Actually, I have a protocol on this and a video pending, but I haven't touched this thing in ages because I got the job done, and for that I didn't need a gigantic schlong, but it was fun while it lasted. I think it's right back to normal size now. Sean Sullivan, what's up, bro? Vigorous Dilth, Daddy, I like to fuck, no homo. Hope the little one and the wife are doing well. Yes, they are doing well. They're sleeping right now. And my daughter finally started cooing a little bit of talking going on for the last couple of days. So we've been enjoying that quite a bit. Hearing her trying to communicate and looking us in the eyes and then, ooh, ah, ee, ooh. It's a lot of fun. Been on a ketogenic diet and daily fasted cardio for 3 weeks now. Looking to do your 5.5-day fasting mimicking diet next week. What do your Sunday's Cheesecake Factory carb up days look like in grams? What would make sense if I'm on 2,500 calories per day and less than 20 grams of carbs to refeed once a week? So you could do it 2 ways, right? You could just go out and eat what you want to eat within reason. So if you go to Cheesecake Factory, you can get the steak or the hamburger. And instead of the sweet potato fries, you get a potato or maybe some rice on the side. Keep it reasonably clean. And then, and that's about it. You allow yourself a cheesecake to share with your wife, right? Ideally on a carb up refeed, you just want a metabolic boost from the carbohydrates. So if you want to keep it clean, you just eat a boatload of healthy carbohydrates that you've been eating during the week. But if you eat less than 20 grams of carbs, probably trace carbs from, vegetables, right? Then, well, add in some rice, add in some potatoes, add in some oatmeal, low-fat cookies. You know, you can freestyle it and just eat what you want. You could try that as well. But a lot of people notice that if they freestyle it too hard on a Sunday refeed, especially after a fast, that their lower back just doesn't get lean because you have a lot of insulin spike, a lot of saturated fats. I mean, cheesecakes at the Cheesecake Factory are what, 1,500 calories a pop, and half of those calories are coming from fat, and half of those fat grams are saturated fat. Ballpark adjustment. So yeah, I would take it easy at Cheesecake Factory, but if you got to do what you got to do, man. Usually the cheat meals get a little bit bigger and exorbitant the longer you diet. So if you've been dieting for 3 weeks and then want to do a 5.5 day fast, just eating vegetables, yeah, you're probably depleted enough to go to Cheesecake Factory and have half a cheesecake. If you've been dieting for 12 weeks, 16 weeks, then you're probably depleted enough to have 2 cheesecakes, right? The longer you diet, the more you can eat. But it's better to do a combination of both. So you have something reasonably healthy like a cheeseburger, or that barbecue bacon burger with an extra egg on top, right? Sunny side up. Let's fucking go. And then the rest of the day, you just have clean carbs from fruits or, rice crackers, whatever you prefer, man. Keep it simple. Your body will tell you how hard you need to cheat. Like, I've been dieting now for 8 weeks, 10 weeks, pretty hard. And tomorrow I will have a cheesecake, but I will share it with my wife. And get these fucking cannons filled out because I felt a little bit flat today. Could feel it training back. I've been battling with elbow tendonitis. Okay, do some active release therapy and take a week off. And maybe some Graston technique to kind of open up all the adhesions and stuff. And the tendonitis, yeah, you got to see, So if you open everything up here with Graston technique or active release therapy and taking a week off, then at least the inflammation, the adhesions and all that stuff will go away. And then you probably need to do a TB 500 BPC protocol to kind of get that under control and help with angiogenesis. So, but it's usually a long-lasting thing. And I sometimes have like tendonitis in this elbow as well. And then I have to take some time off and do some aggressive deep tissue massage therapy to get rid of that and take significant time off. And definitely don't do the exercises that aggravate the elbow tendonitis, like skull crushers, for example, or the seated, tricep extensions. Oh, man, where you want to keep it straight, but then at the end, your elbows kind of go out. And then before you know it, you're like this, pulling 2 guys off. That's what it looks like. You're not actually doing that. Obviously, it's Cintiano. Come on now. Naughty mind. So, but yeah, that's what it looks like. And that's how you get tendonitis to be even worse. Hey, Steve, I'm having cosmetic surgery, abdominal skin removal, and muscle repair soon. Can you share your dosing protocol used? Okay, guys, this is always in the comment section. I know I forgot it this time, but we've been discussing this protocol like every single live stream. So let me just quickly copy it because I forgot the last time also. Where's the previous one? There you go. Injury and recovery protocol. All right. We discussed this a million times, so it's in the comment section. Please have a look there. Let's not waste too much time on that, bro. And I discuss my healing protocol in the gynosurgery video as well. So if you want it spoken to you, just go watch the video. Primo and EQ makes any sense. Test as a base. Thanks. For what? What's the goal? What's the dosage? What's the ratio between Primo and EQ and test? Hey, come on, man. Short question, minuscule amount of a super chat. Put some more EQ points in there. Try a little harder. Steve, heard you don't like BAM15, was wondering why. Thanks. I don't like mitochondrial uncouplers. And I think only lazy and stupid people use them because they don't understand oxidative stress. Yes, but Steve, the scientific evidence is paper thin. And the last thing you want is that suddenly BAM15, with a couple of years from now, shows to be quite deleterious for your health. I mean, again, minimal human studies. Everything that I know about basic human biology tells me that BAM15, DNP, and similar compounds are not a good idea, especially if you want to combine them with mitochondrial optimizers like SLU-PP-332, MOTS-c, SS31, ubiquinol, creatine. It's... And plus, there's a million different ways to lose fat. So with all the fat-burning aids that I've discussed on this YouTube channel already, I think DNP and BAM15 is like the end-stage result. I mean, if you can't get it done with erythrocyte and SLU, and MOTS-c, and methylene blue, and some cardio, and maybe mirabegron or clenbuterol, whatever you prefer, then this game is not for you, man. If you need BAM15 to get lean, this shit is not for you. Best fucking energy drinks ever. They sent me a couple cases and I'm running through it now. Tasty as fuck. I think BAM15, I mean, I wonder what the reasoning is for people to overlook all of these other compounds that are out there, all of these wonderful compounds out there that are better than some of the older fat burners, like clenbuterol, for example, or ephedrine, or anything that makes you jittery and just shaky and clammy and fucking sweaty and shit. Like all these new drugs that we've introduced with a good amount of scientific evidence behind it. Some have animal models, some have animal models and human studies. And then I don't understand the reasoning why people would want to go to a mitochondrial uncoupler that could potentiate all kinds of negative side effects and really fuck with your mitochondria, and then ruin their health. So BAM15 we don't discuss here, DNP we don't discuss here, adipotide we don't discuss here, and anything else that I don't agree with we don't discuss here. And if that's not up to your alley, then fuck, man, unsubscribe, go somewhere else. I really don't give a shit. Right? Plenty of other educators to talk about combining BAM15 with SLU and MOTS-c and SS31 and whatnot, right? Fucking go do it, dude. Go fucking do it. See how you look. See how you look. See where you end up. But don't come crawling back to me where I get to tell you I told you so. And otherwise, do the research yourself, man. Ask Perplexity, Grok, ChatGPT, and come to your own conclusions. But I draw my conclusions. I'm not going to talk about it. I think only fucking retards talk about the shit, promote the shit, and use the shit. And if you're a retard, you identify as a fucking retard, then go right ahead, man. Fucking ruin your mitochondria. Give yourself oxidative stress. Make yourself old. Go for it. Right? The world is overpopulated enough. We got enough people. Enough fucking retards on this planet. You know, what's a couple less? It's cool. Salim asks, hey Steve from Dubai, what's up, bro? I'm classic physique competitor, currently running 700 Mastron, 700 test, 280 milligrams NPP. My HDL is 14. Other lipids are on point. Is there anything I can do rather than reduce Mastron? Well, even if you reduce Mastron to 700 test and 280 milligrams NPP, excuse me, I mean, that's the bubbles talking. Your HDL is not going to be perfect. So if you follow a low-fat diet, increasing the fats obviously will help with high-density lipoprotein transportation. You can look into citrus bergamot and amla extract. That's the combination that I'm running right now that gives you a couple extra points of HDL. But on steroids, man, it's never going to be perfect. Daily fasted cardio, citrus bergamot, amla extract. That's pretty much it on how you can increase HDL without increasing your fat intake. And the reasons why my HDLs are never that low compared to most competitors is because I get a good amount of healthy fats. I have salmon every day. I have walnuts every day. I have good steak every day. I have, chicken and maybe some pork. I know you guys probably can't eat pork over there in Dubai, but I can't. I don't have any, restrictions like that. So that also has a good amount of healthy fat, because I get the best fucking meats I can, obviously. And that increases your HDL also. Now, it's just part of the game. So if you're currently cutting, which this cycle is not really a cutting cycle, but then again, I'm running 300 deca, 300 tests, and 150 mint, and I'm getting lean. So you can basically cut on anything, obviously. But yeah, your HDL is never going to be low if you're restricting, or your HDL is never going to be high if you're restricting your fat intake, unfortunately. That's just part of the game. And that's why we do cruises, where we just take tests, eat healthy, fatten up a little bit, and then, you go to Meat & Co. and Atmosphere and all these fancy restaurants where you can get some nice steaks and nice healthy fats, get some Lebanese food, get some Iranian food, you get face first into the hummus, bro. Your HCl will be okay, It's just not much you can do, man. It's just part of the game. As long as your LDL is fine, and you're not creating yourself or giving yourself a lot of oxidative stress to form these foam cells that could potentially cause plaque buildup, and your blood is not too acidic, causing a lot of calcium to leak into the blood, which can then bind to the foam cells and cause actual plaque buildup, calcifying your arteries. Right? If you're doing everything right, low oxidative stress, low inflammation, and eating healthy, taking a little bit of PEDs and low HDL. It's part of the game, but it's not the end of the world. Yeah. Mr. and Mrs. Blue Collar Bodybuilding. Hey, bro. Hope all is well. Getting any sleep with the kiddo? How's the baby and mommy doing? I'm getting plenty of sleep. I go to bed at 4 a.m. as usual. My wife is sleeping right now next to the baby. She goes to bed about 11 o'clock. And then at 4 o'clock, I wake her up or her alarm goes off. And then we do the switcheroo. So I give... I do bottle feeding at about 11 or 12 and about 3 o'clock in the morning. And then Jadzia, our daughter, sleeps well until about 7 o'clock in the morning. And that's about the time that my wife wakes up. So she gets about 8 hours, 7 hours with 1 or 2 interruptions. And I get an 8 hour straight. This is why we had kids later on, man. I don't need to fucking work. I got a lot of people helping me out. My wife doesn't really have to work. She gets a nice fat salary before being a stay-at-home mommy and helping me with the kids. And it's all going well, man. Just once, sometimes the Jadzia gets a little fussy. And then I bottle feed her, and then I change the diaper, and I burp her. And then sometimes she goes ballistic because she wants to get soothed by the nipple. She fucking hates a pacifier, dude. Jesus Christ. The pacifier, you put it in, and it just fucking shoots, and it bounces all over the walls. That's how violent it gets expelled. Then she starts shaking and shit and kicking, and man, she kicks really hard too. Also, it's not fun. Right into you have her on her chest, right on the legs, and then she kicks me right into the gyno. Not fun. Anyway, and then I feel like a little bit of a failure because I can do everything as a dad, but I can't breastfeed. And then at 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning, I have to wake my wife up, in defeat. Said, babe, I tried everything, but she needs the nipple. And so maybe 2 times a week. I have to wake her up, but the rest of the time, she's sleeping solid. And she takes a nice long nap in the afternoon, and I do the same. Yeah. Yeah, so far, so good. So far, so good. And we're still having our Sunday date day because her mom is helping us out with, babysitting, basically. So Sunday, we half a day, we go out, eat some food, go watch a movie. Fantastic Four was pretty okay. It's not the best movie, but it's a fun movie. I'm looking forward to Tron. So we got some help here. And, we're doing the best we can, man. Linus Wilson, how many doses per week and how many weeks would you load up on Melanotan 2? What is the best maintenance dose? Can you keep it in the fridge in water for over a month? Depends if you use bacteriostatic water versus sterile water or normal saline solution. Bacteriostatic water gives you the longest shelf life, but usually with most of these peptides, after about 2 weeks, it slowly starts to denature. And it depends on how well you keep the vial in a vacuum. So you're not putting any air in there, which could have pollutants or contaminants or slight bacteria or whatnot. You're wiping the rubber stopper with alcohol so you don't sticking bacteria through there, which can then feed on the peptides. So yeah, a month, 2 weeks to a month is usually okay. I'm not an expert on Melanotan 2, though. I mean, I have a little bit of a tan here. This is like a farmer's / motorcycle tan. So I always wear, some kind of shirt and start driving motorcycle, but you're like this. And then all of this gets a nice tan, but this part doesn't, So you come to the gym, you put your fucking shirt on, and you look, you're like, oh, fuck. So I either need to go fully covered or just wear a tank top, and then if you fall, risky. Anyway, I'm getting off topic now. So Melanotan 2, I'm not an expert, but most people would take 0.5 milligram to 1 milligram sub-Q before they start tanning, and then you'll run it as long as you need. I know Ken Skip Hill, who's actually a Caucasian. You might have a BBC, but he's actually a Caucasian. And, Chase Irons also is allegedly a Caucasian. Oh, what is a Spanish-Italian with a big fat tan? Yeah, that's still a Caucasian, right? But he's pretty fucking tanned. And I think he runs like 0.5 milligram or 1 milligram per day for certain points, and then phases off, and you go to a 1/4 milligram maybe every other day or every day as a maintenance dose. So you have a loading phase, just like creatine, loading phase until you're tanned as fuck, right? Sexy and tanned, and guns out, sunglasses on, and golden chain around your neck. So look good on the beach, and then you go to a maintenance dose. But it really depends on how many hours of sunlight you get. Or if you go tanning, and how well you respond. Because I don't really respond well to tanning. So when I used Melanotan too back in the day, I would use 1 milligram, get nauseous as fuck, and then kind of walk in and out at the beach. You go into the sun, right? You play a little bit, you do some frisbee or volleyball or whatever on the beach for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. You go back in the shade, you put some new sunblock on, and just go back and forth, back and forth. And within 1 week of that, you literally change races. So when you arrived here, you were like Casper the Ghost, and now you're, well, blackface. We can make jokes about blackface, right? But that's basically what it turns into. You gain all the, basically the thing that you want to do with your teeth, where you go from dirty Euro teeth, right? Dirty British teeth, where it's green and blackish from all the smoking and the coffee, to pearly white. You go in the opposite direction. So you go from pearly white to a nice deep brown color, which is the last thing you want in your teeth. And yeah, so you have to do a logging phase and then a maintenance phase. And then hopefully, you get some pussy out of it. Or winning on stage with less chance of protein, right? Because protein also kind of sucks. Derber fan became a YouTube member. Welcome to the club, bro. What can be taken to counter a reduction in conversion of progesterone to neurosteroids from finasteride? Thinking high-dose creatine. What do you mean, a reduction of conversion of progesterone? So you want to prevent the conversion of progesterone into allopregnanolone? Or you want to make sure that it comes back? You have to stop the finasteride. Obviously, that might take a while to clear. And then if you get any permanent 5-alpha reduction or 5-alpha reductase enzyme, what is it called? Downregulation. Man, fuck, I totally forgot. But I have a video on this. It's called Post-Finasteride syndrome, where I discuss how to upregulate 5-alpha reductase enzymes, whether that's type 1, 2, or 3. And you use NAD plus as a enzyme catalyst, as a cofactor in this conversion process. It donates an electron or several electrons, allowing for the conversion of progesterone into allopregnanolone. So if you're deficient in NAD plus levels, then these 5-alpha reductase enzymes, 1, 2, and 3, obviously can't function correctly. So creatine, I don't think, is an electron donor. It helps with ATP synthesis, but that's not what we're after. So I would rather go with injectable NAD+, which you can get at some of the affiliates that I work with. Right? Check the source list for discount codes. And for research purposes only, obviously. Do some research on NAD+, using the discount codes. And otherwise, go with nicotinamide mononucleotide or nicotinamide riboside. Some people respond well to NMN. Some people respond well to NR. The dose is usually around 1,000 milligrams per day. I completely stopped taking it because now I inject 20 milligrams NAD plus sub-Q, and I get the exact same benefits as taking a very expensive 1,000 milligrams NMN, which I had to pay out of pocket, but now I get sponsored from the affiliates, right? Modern Aminos, you guys are legends for selling me like 20 mils of 200 milligrams per 1 milliliter NAD+, which lasts, well, you take 0.1, so it is 10, 200 days. One vial, 200 days. Lasts forever. Yeah, so one vial, you get like almost a whole year supply. And that might help, or at least from the consultations that I've done with the guys suffering from post-finasteride syndrome, starting nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide plus injections seem to offer some relief. All right, next one. Steve, any advice on resetting adrenals between contest and cutting? I've been blasting Stims to stay going. I want to wind it down, but also have enough energy to work. You can supplement with DHA and pregnenolone, obviously. You can slowly wind off the caffeine and the stimulants, and then slowly get back to normal. That's basically the only thing you can do. Slow down the cardio, slow down the stimulants, and just phase that out slowly. You might be able to offer some resetting relief with cerebral lysin. I've heard people use that successfully, coming off stimulants or kratom addiction or something like that. But that depends on the person. The dose is usually 5 to 10 milliliters per day for about 2 months as you're tapering down the stimulants or the kratom or whatever you were addicted to. And maybe retatrutide can offer you a little bit of relief because, well, with addiction, it does seem to help anecdotally. Like I started retatrutide what is it, 10 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago, 1 milligram every other day, basically Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I've not had the urge to smoke a cigar or drink alcohol or whatever. So it really kind of resets your cravings, not only from a food perspective, but also from a drug perspective. It's not that I didn't smoke a cigar on my motorcycle driving through Bangkok at 2 o'clock in the morning, right? That's like a moment, but sometimes you feel like, I should go smoke a cigar. But this time it was like, I should go driving my motorcycle. Oh, I got this new helmet and I got this new speaker. So I'm going to blast AC/DC and smoke a cigar while driving a motorcycle. That was a lot of fun. 2 o'clock in the morning, police stopped me. They're like, are you vaping? I said, no, vaping is illegal. So I got a real cigar here. And they looked at my motorbike, my Honda NM4. They were very impressed. And then they let me go after checking my license, obviously. So erythritide might help. And the DHA and pregnenolone supplementation might help. 25 milligrams DHA, 10 milligrams pregnenolone, or double that if you don't get any relief within 2 weeks while phasing out the stimulants, and then see how you respond. But it might take some time, man. Might take some time. Post-contest blues and adrenal fatigue might take some time to get your sensitivity back. Corey Helms, what's up, bro? You're back. How are your family doing? Peace. Guys, everybody keeps asking me for the family, but we're doing well. Yeah. So we've talked about this 4 times already now. So we're doing well, man. We're slowly getting into a good routine. Hey, Papa Steve, a.k.a. Diaper Daddy. Yeah. Fuck, man, I change diapers like 4 times a day. Hey, but my daughter is 6 months old, or 6 weeks old. 0 diaper rash. Thank God for cheap diapers that are high quality when you buy in bulk. Dude, there's no space in my house. They have like 1 carton of diapers. Like, fuck, 20 kilos of diapers. Yeah, it's the cheapest way. Oh, that's what my wife said. We're saving money this way by buying in bulk. It's all right, babe. That's how I buy my Primo too. What's safer on lipids and more clean gains to bulk? 400 tests, 200 Primo, 200 Mast, 100 MPP, or 500 tests, 500 EQ? So that's 489 or a gram. 900 milligrams versus a gram. Honestly, it could be pretty much the same, man. It could be pretty much the same. Because on 400 tests, 200 Primo, 200 Mastron might not be enough to reduce the estradiol with 100 milligrams NPP. So your estradiol on that stack might be higher, which is more favorable for HDL than 500 tests and 500 EQ. But then again, DHTs on a milligram for milligram or molecule for molecule basis, the Primo and the Mastron, suppresses HDL more compared to EQ. And again, EQ converts to 3 metabolites, which reduce aromatization and keep estradiol suppressed. So it's probably the same, man. It's probably the same. I would do a clean bulk on 500 tests, 500 EQ. Yeah. Yeah. And save the Primo and the Mastron for when you're cutting. Now, you can also do what I do. You can cut on the quote-unquote wet compounds. Test Deca and Tristalone. Tristalone is not really wet, but you get a good amount of 7-alpha-methylestradiol, which I'm blocking with an aromatase inhibitor. Right? We grow the guy now. We got rid of it. Now no need to blow that estrogen out of control anymore. So it doesn't really matter what you take. As long as the food is there and you train hard, so you take some health supplements, then the end result is going to be very, very similar. But the look might be a little bit different. Steve, hope the daddy life has been awesome. Yes, it has been. Yeah, it's so much fun, dude. It's so much fun. Currently at work, but I had to tune in for this week's Q&A. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the shit show. Sean Sullivan. If somebody has access to 1 milligram glucagon pen every few weeks, you should take that you should finish that pen in like 2 to 4 days. With a daily dose of 0. It's not enough. A 1/4 milligram to 1/2 milligram is where you start seeing effects. Before fasted cardio, any benefit for site-specific fat loss? Yes. Yes, but it's not magic if you take 0.1 milligram. So let's say you want to remove stubborn lower back fat, 0.1 milligram to 0.25 milligrams, split bilaterally, obviously, because if you get site-specific fat loss, or you could go left one day, right one day, and just kind of alternate back and forth. turn your lower back into a pincushion. Fuck you, lower back. Glucagon. Or you could just pin retatrutide 1 milligram per day and get a glucagon-like effect because it's a glucagon receptor agonist. And retatrutide is significantly cheaper than a 1 milligram glucagon pen. I mean, the cheapest you can buy them is, what, $15? But most sites sell it for $50. So $15 versus $50, unless you get it for free through your hookup. I know Sean Sullivan is well connected. I mean, look at that guy, sexy as fuck, well-known actor. He's probably losing all kinds of jobs just tuning into the Vigorous Q&A talking about drugs. I'm sorry, Sean, we can't hire you because you keep asking Steve about PD questions, and we want to keep Hollywood spotless. Right? Nobody's on drugs on Hollywood. Maybe some cocaine, but that's a different story. So yeah, benefits for site-specific fat loss, yes, but you need to run a little bit more. Run a higher dose for longer periods of time yields better results. Yeah, with glucagon, more is better. I hate to say it. Are there any contraindications between glucagon use along with other fat burners, retatrutide, MOTS-c, SLU-carnitine? No, those all stack well together. And again, if you use retatrutide 1 milligram per day, then I don't think you need glucagon. Right? Because you already get this glucagon receptor agonism from the retatrutide. Now, what's this extra glucagon going to do unless you really want site-specific fat reduction? Then, yeah, fuck man, glucagon and Helios, injectable clenbuterol with Yohimbine. I got some of that laying around here. I mean, that spot reduces quite well. I don't have any glucagon pens because the last time I got it for like $50 a milligram, and then you run like 30 milligrams. And do the fucking math on that. Man. It's not worth the money. It's not worth the money. Wild grape. Now we're ready to roll. Oh, don't fall. So yeah, that stacks all well together. I have a question about energy drinks. Is it because it's too much caffeine in it if you drink more than one that speeds my heart rate up, but if I drink one, I tend to have heartburn right after? Well, it depends on the ones you drink. Like if you drink one of these Gorilla Mind energy drinks, you shouldn't get heartburn. But yeah, they have 200 milligrams of caffeine in it. So if you drink one, that's basically a cup of coffee. If you go to Starbucks, though, some of them have like 400 milligrams of caffeine. So it depends on how many you drink and if your stomach can deal with it or deal with the ingredients. But I don't get any heartburn or indigestion from Gorilla Mind, and my stomach is weak as fuck, man. I get a digestive issue. So maybe let's switch the Monsters or the Celsius or whatever for Gorilla Mind Energy. And this one goes in like butter. Man, so smooth. ALT season is upon us. Oh, alt season, yeah. So when I say I haven't been working, I have been trading. Oh, that's why I keep buying all these motorbikes, right? These alts are not going to spend themselves, dude. This money is not going to spend itself. Enhanced Andy, 33 years old, 10 years natural, starting a cycle, doing 300 milligrams testosterone enanthate, 300 milligrams masteron, Superdrol, weeks 1 to 3 or 4 pre-workout, weeks 5 to 11 injectable Winstrol, 25 milligrams every day. Testosterone propionate taper, 200 milligrams into Clomid, Nolvadex, and ACG. Is ACG overkill or necessary? I would do the ACG now to keep your balls functional. And again, if you stop your cycle, it will take some time for the masteron enanthate, testosterone enanthate, and even the injectable Winstrol to metabolize. I mean, injectable Winstrol has a detection time of 6 to 8 weeks in some individuals, depending on how bad their scar tissue is. And some of those metabolites could downregulate your HPTA. So you don't need to taper. These are self-tapering drugs. You stop injecting, you wait until you feel like a little girl, and then you could keep using the HCG to keep your testicles active, which makes you feel less like a little girl. But you should still stop the HCG because it can also cause negative feedback. And then you start the Clomid or Enclomiphene and Nolvadex. When hormone levels are basically zero, so you have no negative feedback from the androgen receptor, even though you're blocking the estrogen receptor. And no, HCG is not overkill. It's kind of mandatory if you want to have a good, successful PCT. Zuderman, I'm 1 week out of gyno surgery running your protocol. It's been fucking great. I'm surprised, man. I didn't even have bruising yet. Doctor was acidic at week 1 appointment. I don't believe you incorporated KPV in reasons. Yeah, so KPV, I feel it's mostly beneficial for the intestinal tract. So KPV I've always taken orally. I've done it injectable, but I never really noticed the benefit. So if I have intestinal problems, I might run LL37 to help reset my gut microbiome and then finish it off with BPC-157 and KPV to kind of help lower the inflammation and heal the entire intestinal tract while repopulating the gut microbiome with probiotic foods like sauerkraut or kimchi or sushi, like some raw food here and there, or just some good old probiotics, right? But I never really noticed anything from injectable KPV, and it seems that GHK copper is a little bit better for collagen synthesis systemically than KPV is. So yeah, but it's good to hear that the 1 week surgery appointment update was good. I mean, my doctor was also like, "What's going on?" So I told you about these peptides, right? I said it goes like this. Yeah, all the incisions are all healed. No bruising, no scarring, no nothing. When I'm lean enough, I'll send you, or I'll do like an update video. And yeah, but it looks very nice. It's starting to look very nice. Still have a little bit of inflammation here in the lower chest, but that could also be, yeah, it's probably from the Helios injections. Steve, you inject Helios in your lower chest? Yeah, man, I still have some fat there. Like, let's get rid of it. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Joshua, I ran Chase's Fast Track Melanotan 2 protocol is 1 milligram daily for up to 10 days. I got pulled over by the cops. Josh. Well, we can, yeah. I want to comment on that so bad, but I shouldn't. I'll get canceled. Joey Schwall. And I want to end up like Joyce. I'm going to retire. Steve, 2 years in TRT with little cycles. My balls are always so cold and morphed into one and keep going up my shaft. HCG the only option. Yes. And add in some FSH, man. Because HCG will give you some volume, but the real volume comes from FSH when your Sertoli cells are properly stimulated through the follicle stimulating hormone receptor. So 1,000 IUs HCG. Well, maybe 250 to start, and then build your way up. 500, maybe 1,000 IUs 3 times a week. And then 75 IUs FSH every other day or in between those HCG injections, but preferably every day. I stopped HCG and FSH like months ago, and my nuts are small, but they're not that small. You know, allegedly, exogenous testosterone can enter the testicles and stimulate the Sertoli cells into spermatogenesis if the dose is high enough. So maybe you need to bump up the TRT so you can grow a pair. And report back to us 3 months from now if that actually worked. But it wouldn't be surprising. I mean, androgens can increase your fertility. And it's been scientifically proven for halotestin and proviron. Owen, if I get lipo, how does it affect fat storage? Well, there won't be any fat storage because the fat cells have been removed surgically. If I got my lower back, would that stubborn fat just spill over into lower abs and that spot would get stubborn? Yeah, but the whole point here is... Owen, the whole point here is once you do the surgery, that you don't allow yourself to get fat. I didn't do that. Okay, I got a little bit chunky, but man, I just had a kid. Give me a break. Give me a fucking break. So, if you get stubborn fat, you get it surgically removed, then just don't go back to a point where stubborn fat might reaccumulate somewhere else. I have some self-respect, man. We remove stubborn fat because it's so stubborn that it doesn't matter how many drugs you throw at it or how much cardio you throw at it or how low your calories are, that stubborn fat doesn't go away. I've dieted since I was 15 years old, and that lower chest fat never went away. I had shredded glutes. I had my lower abs were in, lower back was in, right, where your butt cheeks are touching your obliques in your lower back. Looks silly as fuck. It's like this thin. And then this would still be there. So I got a fucking dreidel and just fucking drilled the shit out of it. And got it removed. And then the whole point is to not get fat again. Hey, Steve, I noticed they have DMAA on MA's website. Yeah, I just noticed that too. I just put in an order for a whole top-up. I used to be in a lot of pre-workouts maybe 10 years ago and before being banned. Any experience with this? Yeah, DMAA is it's a good way to increase your blood pressure. But it also gives you some serious PRs. Yeah, I loved it, man. 25 milligrams, 50 milligrams of DMAA with the pre-workout. We'd make it ourselves, or 25 milligrams DMEA and 25 milligrams DMAA together. Ooh. But now that I'm over 40, I don't think it's a good idea. But back in the day, when it was all about the PRs and all about max efforts and maxing out all of the equipment, then yes, DMAA and DMAE was part of my pre-workout, and I had a great fucking time getting the tingles and the stimulatory effects at a little bit too high dose, and then scratching my head like ooh and whistling in between sets. Good times. It's not meth, but it came close. Sap the B. Managed to get my hands on injectable SLU-PP-332. How would the dosage differ from the oral version? Well, the bioavailability is higher, but I don't know what the difference is. So maybe start with half and build your way up. Guerrilla Chemist just did an experiment with 100 milligrams SLU-PP-332 orally, and he had get crazy results. So most of us would run 1 milligram, maybe 2 milligrams at maximum. 750 micrograms is what most people take, right? And then in a combination with methylene blue and MOTS-c and all the other mitochondrial aids. But he took 100 milligrams per day for 4 weeks or something. It's on his Instagram page. And you get crazy results. So yeah, maybe there's something to say for running it a little bit higher. But all the tablets out there are like 250 to 500 micrograms. And the injectable SLU, what's the concentration of that? I haven't seen it myself. I was waiting for Chase to bring it to the market and then use his. Because Omega Minos, obviously one of the affiliates and sponsors that we work with, he was going to bring injectable SLU to the market, so I wanted to try his one first. Because if anything, anybody knows about injections, then it's Chase. In fact, he's the homebrew king after all. So what was your dose? Or what was the dose that, what was the concentration? Sorry, what was the concentration? Yeah, maybe start with 500 micrograms and build your way up. I would like to vote in favor for another episode with Bodybuilding with Aaron. He did a lot of contest preps this season. Yeah, Aaron apparently is coming back to Thailand for a bit to kind of hang out. And we'll definitely do a Muscle Nomads because I got 2 chairs. I got this one and another one over there, which I bought for him. And then he left. Bought a new chair. We only got to use it once. But yeah, when I think he's coming back in like a couple of weeks. So let's see. We'll work something out. Hey Steve, I've left one of my spare testosterone antidote vials in my car for 2 months. The weather in Australia can be very hot at times and cold at times. Would the test E be compromised? It's still sealed. I know what does the color of the test E tells you? If it's green or red or black or has chunks floating around it, it's probably not good. But I don't know, do a test shot of 0.1 milliliter, see if you get any adverse reaction. But it's probably still good, man. It's probably still good. And otherwise, well, I know that the steroids in Australia are not really up to par with the rest of the world. But a vial of Test E is probably $250 over there, so I wouldn't want to waste it either. It's still good enough. You get the 7-second rule. You drop your sandwich on the floor in 7 seconds, or was 3-second rule, 2-second rule. 2 months in the car, still good. Just dust it off. Once you see straight to the butt cheeks, figure it out. The Wa Iron, or Dewa Iron. Hello, Steve. I would like to ask, in off cycle, is okay to take low dose Anavar to keep my joints healthy when blood work is good? So if you're off cycle, then you don't have a testosterone base and you're only running Anavar, so that means your testosterone levels don't really come back up. So if you're cruising with a low dose of Anavar, fine. Totally fine. TRT with Anavar in between blasts, fine. But I would not do an Anavar only cycle because then you have 0 estrogen, 0 testosterone. And you need some testosterone and estrogen to keep your blood work good. And also your joints lubricated because that's what the estrogen does. So, test and the Anavar, yes. Anavar only, fucking gay. Unsubscribe, get the fuck out of here. I don't want to hear it. Been struggling with elbow tendonitis tried BBC. Did we just discuss the elbow tendonitis? Yes, we did. BBC 157, 250 micrograms 2 times per day, and TB 500, 2.5 milligrams a week. and it healed. Whenever I start training harder in the gym, I feel it again. Yeah, that's part of the game, man. I have the same thing. I did 12 rep range for like months. It didn't really work for me. And then I'm back to the 6 to 8 rep range, sometimes 9 if I feel naughty. Now I go to the 9th rep. Motherfucker. And my elbow starts to hurt again. So get some Grassland technique, get some active release therapy, maybe take another week off, or increase the dose of BBC 157 and TB 500 to half a milligram or 1 milligram 2 times per day. And TB 500 at 1 milligram per day. I would rather inject TB 500 twice per day as well, man. They both have a short half-life. They get rapidly metabolized. So I would inject both twice per day, and maybe look into a dipeptidyl peptidase 4 inhibitor, which is linked down below, listed down below in the healing protocol to prevent the breakdown of BBC 157 and TB 500. Yeah, nobody talked about this first, right? Yeah, Steve, why would you take Januvia to? It's a diabetic medication. It prevents the breakdown of insulin. Yes, but it also prevents the breakdown of IGF-1 and TB 500 and BBC 157. So you're basically getting a compound that inhibits the breakdown of all of these growth factors, and thus you can grow on a lower budget because Januvia is cheap. TB 500 and Increlex is expensive. Guys, I have 6 vials of Increlex, which expire in September. So I might have to do like 4 milligrams Increlex per day. Well, I better increase. Get lean first, then I might finish. I accidentally the whole vial of Increlex. Fuck, man, it makes such a difference, dude. 1 milligram Increlex per day. Holy shit. Good shit, man. Anadrol pre-workout and clomiphene post-workout. Friends said higher test levels and IGF-1. Running 5 milligrams Anadrol and PCT could stop the risk of blood clots. I'm not even going to answer this. Get the fuck out of here. This is a retard question, and your friend is a retard. Get the fuck out of here. Thanks for your 35 ZAR, whatever the fuck that real value is. I don't even want to go there. Is the generic GH on the affiliates AP legit? Yes, otherwise I wouldn't promote it, guys. If it's on the source list, it's legit. If they stop being legit, I take them off the source list. I like being noob, but they go source check. Hey, what about this source? Is it legit? I say, why the fuck would I promote it? I've used AP's. I've used many of AP's products, and dude, I got my wife pregnant, or through IVF, but I got my fertility back on AP's products, and yeah, I used many of his shit, and it all came back as it should be. This is Derek, by the way. Oh, all right. What's up, bro? What was the goal you gave me in Chase's live stream? 1 million before January. Yeah, 1 million before January. I keep thinking you're crazy, then it happens somehow. You just got to set your mind to it, man. So Derber is the owner of what is it called? Peptide review.store or something, where you can kind of review the peptide prices on different affiliates. So I don't think he's got like 20 affiliates, and you know, it doesn't matter where he sends people, he gets their affiliate codes plugged. And he's doing very well for himself. 22 years old. I challenged him to start earning 100K per month, which he's now doing. And if you're earning more than 100K per month, then well, we're in August now, so we got August, September, October, November, December, 5 months. And at your age, you can easily make $1 million, dude. Yeah. Yeah, but once you start earning more than 300K, and then you're coming here and you're paying me a dinner, dude. Because then it's gone. Then your competition. You might just book a one-way trip. What happened to Derber? I took him to the crocodile farm in Samut Prakan. You want to buy this what? I shouldn't like to laugh about jokes. You want to buy these boots? You might have some DNA of Derber in there. You can walk with him all day long. Seems vacation didn't come up. Would you mind giving me some tips? I don't know what you asked, dude. I didn't see your question. Guys, put it in the same. I don't have time to go through Ben's chat, man. Put it in the same super chat. Otherwise, we're not going to do it. There's hundreds of people here. Be respectful of other people's times. I'm not going to go up this chat and scroll a million times. Put it in the same fucking thing. Was using CJC and ipamorelin, switched to 2 years growth hormone 250 test due to limited effects of the CJC, 58 years old. Well, what do you expect when you're over 40, man? Working on fat reduction with muscle gain, general health, okay dosage. Yeah, man. Forget about this growth hormone secretagogues. If you're over 40, it's not going to do anything. Your pituitary is lazy and old and non-cooperative. And plus, you're 58, man. You're working on fat reduction. Just go with the real deal. 250 test, TRT for 2 people, and 2 use growth hormone. Increase that. Help with fat reduction, muscle gain, general health. Yes. But at 50 years old, don't expect too much muscle gain because you're old, dude. You're not old in the grave, but it's hard to build significant amounts of muscle mass unless you already had that and you're just trying to maintain when you're 58 years old. So don't expect too much. General health, yes, absolutely. Sleep quality, absolutely. Beautiful skin texture and quality. Accelerated growth of your hair and nails. A little bit filling in the wrinkles. General health and well-being, obviously. Some anti-aging effects. Absolutely. But building a boatload of muscle, probably not. Unless you go really, really hard in the gym. But, 58 years old, you probably can't train that hard anymore. So just be happy with what you got, man. Make sure you pay attention to your blood pressure because blood pressure management at 58 is a little bit more cumbersome. We had a very excellent 2-hour discussion on the Anabolic Roundtable, if you guys haven't watched it yet, about blood pressure management. So give that one a watch and then bump up the GH3 I use because then you can manage your blood pressure. And then you enjoy the fruits of your labor and never run growth hormone secretagogues again. Skip cardarine and just run more. Yeah, but what if you do both, man? What if you do both? Hey, Master Steve, what are your thoughts on TRT with microdose of Mastrone? Well, it's not TRT anymore. That's just a small cycle. Currently using 200 milligrams a test, 50 milligrams Mastrone per week, injected twice a week. That's very low. It's not tren, man. If you want to run 50 milligrams of tren, sure. Yeah, bump it up to 200. What the fuck? 200 tests, 200 Mastrone, and then you look like something. Come on, man. 50 milligrams, it's not even worth a syringe. 50 milligrams of tren, yes. I'm all for it. 25 milligrams of tren per week, yes. You get all of the mineralocorticoid receptor inhibition or a glucocorticoid receptor inhibition and the highest discrepancy between the anabolic to androgenic effects. So the biggest dissociation, mostly anabolism and none of the androgenic effects, right? Based on animal models, because we only have animal models when it comes to tren. And with Mastrone, well, the therapeutic dose is 300 milligrams against breast cancer. That's not what you're running it for, but if you want to get some sort of therapeutic effect out of Mastrone, I would run 200 milligrams. 50 milligrams is, I don't know. I wouldn't waste a syringe on it. Assuming all variables are controlled, same diet, cardio, and lifestyle, will somebody on around 80 to 100 milligrams TRT plus ancillaries and regular blood works age better or worse than their natty counterparts? I would say you would age better. Yeah. Because you're not only doing TRT, you're also doing diet, cardio, and lifestyle. It's the same, right? But the nutrient partitioning and the cardio and the lifestyle is just more effective when your testosterone levels are higher, and you'll feel better too. So I think TRT at that dose, even when you're 80, I think it's totally fine. I think you'll retain more muscle, prevent sarcopenia, you're more better virility in life, and just better overall quality of life. So yeah, with a managed testosterone level, I think life will be a lot better. Being 90 sucks, unless you don't know any better. Favorite nootropic stack for productivity. I've been working around 12 hours per day between social media and a full-time job. Just quit that. Come on, me and Chase already told you to quit your full-time job. Stop that shit. Focus on your business. By the time I get to the gym, I have no mental energy left. You're also cutting, right? So it doesn't help. You have to cycle through your nootropics because you build up a tolerance, and some of them, they have, some serotonergic or dopaminergic effects, which might overlap, and then you feel a bit wired and weird. So I would do maybe 2 days per week on 25 milligrams to 50 milligrams. Romantane, same for modafinil, and Those are quite good for productivity, and then you can take a couple days Semax and Solank, or just Semax, or just Solank. Alpha GPC you can take pretty much every day. Grillamine Energy or Respawn, a couple times a week. So I would just cycle through your nootropics and pick a job that matches the nootropic the best, or vice versa, right? So let's say today I got a particular job to do, and I noticed that this job is produced a lot better. If I take modafinil, okay, today's modafinil in this particular job, you tack off all the boxes, you let the modafinil do its job and metabolize, and then the next day you probably have a different job to do, and then you take bromontane or Semax or Solank. Like for me, for verbal fluency, for fastness of talking, being in a good mood, a little bit jokey, a little bit naughty, a little bit over-sexualized, dad jokes, the Respawn and Grillamine Energy is the best. It's absolutely the best. For these kinds of live streams, Grillamine Respawn or Grillamine Energy, hands down the best, right? I'm giddy, I'm funny, I think I am. I'm laughing at my own jokes, I should be funny, for fuck's sake. Don't you fucking disagree with me, because the ban button's right there. But if I need to do some deep research, then yeah, dihexanonupept, absolutely, man. Yeah, dihexanonupept. I might sneak in a second nupept in the afternoon, because I haven't taken a dihexanonupept in like 8 weeks, because I haven't really worked like that. And for like a long day of cryptocurrency analysis, bet your fucking ass cheeks it's going to be 50 milligrams bromontane, man. Holy shit. You can absorb those charts and look right into it and know exactly where to get your buy orders. I mean, I put a good amount of money in Pepe. It's already up 20%. That was a good trade. And I pivoted to Ethereum. Solana's waiting. Solana can wait. But I'm leveraging into altcoins, bro. Yeah. Yeah. Not small amounts either. For show, would Anadrol have a place, or is the water retention worth not the risk? How long before the competition should testosterone cypionate HCG be stopped? It depends on how you look and how dry you are. Everybody responds differently. Like some guys get drier on Anadrol. I noticed the same also. After 4 or 5 days on Anadrol, you just get fuller. You get better water partitioning, right? Because you're less flat. So less water in the muscle and more in the skeletal muscle. Or less water in the skin, more in the skeletal muscle. But with testosterone, I'm always a little bit watery. Like I lost a lot of fat these last couple of weeks. But some of this fat is being replaced with water. So now at the end of the day, my lower back is like, dude, if there was an earthquake, this lower back would just like this, So it doesn't look pretty. But in the morning, after like 3 rounds of peeing, it's gone. Because I'm running a stack with testosterone and Deca and Tristolone and a good amount of sodium, and then 20 IUs of growth hormone post-leg day. And only once a week. Otherwise I get sleepy. And then if I throw the Anadrol on top of that, I would actually look leaner. But if I run the Anadrol for 4 weeks, then I'll probably look a little bit more watery again. So Anadrol before a competition, I recommended it to 75% of my athletes. And then later we pivoted to Superdrol. And now I would be for a YK11 injection, because now I've experience with YK11, but I don't do contest prep anymore. And that will give you some good fullness without the toxicity of Superdrol. So there's a multitude of different things you could look into. And then if you want to play it safe regarding the water retention, I would stop the testosterone cypionate maybe 2 or 3 weeks before the competition, and the HCG 2 weeks. Yeah. And then, depending on the fullness that you get from the Anadrol, you might be able to leverage an aromatase inhibitor, or just let the testosterone and HCG metabolize. And then by the time you step on stage, your estradiol levels will be really low as well, to the point you don't need an aromatase inhibitor or a SERM to kind of bring that estrogen water down. Then again, when you're fat-free, and there's no fat to hold the water, and skin doesn't, like actual skin, doesn't hold water, maybe in the sweat glands, right, a little bit. But when you're fat-free, you don't need to do anything crazy, man. Sign up with Kurt or Paul or, what's his name? A Cement Factory, right? AJ Sims. Those are guys who get you fat-free, man. None of them really apply diuretics. How fast should growth hormone be titrated up? Just started 2 IUs this week with TRT base and want to work up. Just looking for advice on time frame to titrate up. Every 2 to 3 weeks, 1 IU. I mean, you're doing TRT, so how big can you be? And then don't do what I do, running 20 IUs of generic GH on 1 day a week, post leg day. Right, next day I'm a little bit watery. The veins in my ankles are pretty much gone, and then 2 days later they come back. But yeah, I would 1 IU every 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Should be okay. Derber, I've got multiple accounts of people feeling more tired after starting SS31 and MOTS-c. That's not what I experienced, man. I got fucking energy for days. 0.5 milligram MOTS-c and 1 milligram SS31 twice a day. Whoo! Oh, baby. I can shoot laser beams out of my hands. Could this be the mitochondria starting to repair itself or something else at play? I know. Why do people fall asleep when they take a good dose of MDMA? I always wondered that. They start rolling and then they fall asleep. Like, bro, are you okay? Oh, I'm rolling so hard, man. Anyway, that's a story for a different live stream. I've never heard of that this combination could make people tired, but I will tell you, I was running this combination in combination with cagrilintide, and dude, I couldn't get off the couch, dude. I started the cagrilintide at the same time as rituximab after or around the time that my daughter was born, and it didn't matter how much mitochondrial support aids I took or stimulants I took. The cagrilintide just put me on the couch. At first, I thought I had like postpartum depression. You know, and my daughter is born and all the stress, and finally all the stress of thinking if your baby is going to be healthy, and you know, and then now I can finally relax, and then you get like post-contest blues, postpartum depression. Even though my wife did the postpartum, I postpartumed months ago, and that was very enjoyable. Whoop-de-doo in the cup, sent that off to the lab, and then let the best sperm reach the egg. Yeah, so I parted with the sperm a long time ago. But no, I haven't heard about that, and I didn't experience that. So if you're running cagrilintide, then I could see it. 0.5 milligram 3 times per week made me lethargic as fuck. And none of the mitochondrial support aids did anything. I couldn't find anything that cagrilintide somehow inhibits mitochondrial function, but I could not get off the couch. And I asked Chase, because Chase recently had a kid, right? And I said, Chase, is it normal to be like this fucking lazy and lethargic, and I don't want to train? I don't want to... And I started getting more hungry because I felt low energy, so you start eating more snacks, you know, like painstakingly eating through the appetite suppression of the rituximab and the cagrilintide. So you're like eating fruit and a little bit of candy, and you know, so you actually get worse body composition because you're just trying to get your energy levels up by eating more garbage, because the regular diet is not giving it to you. And Chase was like, yeah, man, it's normal, dude. I didn't work for like 8 weeks after my daughter was born, and then I slowly got back into the groove. And at one point, I was like, why do I have this? So I did some research, and I saw that people got a negative side effect regarding their energy levels and just pure hardcore lethargy from the cagrilintide. It's a rare side effect, but can occur. So I took that out, and then 5 days later, I was back to normal. And then a week later, I was like, you know, fuck, man, this SS31 and MOTS-c is giving me crazy energy. So if they're running that, I can see it. But this combination for me and all the people that I talk to should make you want to run up walls naked and drag your fucking, you know, boner through the wall and create some holes in there. Because I feel pretty fucking good, man, on this stack. Yeah, energy for days. Sean Sullivan, last one. Apologies. That's so good, man. You're a member. You can ask as much as you like. Plus, you're sexy, so it helps. You're cute. Watching on a treadmill, I always come up with more during the live chat. I watch you and Chase's fertility protocol, Vig. How much HMG would you use to increase FSH in place of using straight FSH? So HMG contains 75 IUs or 150 IUs FSH, right? So you have HMG 75 and HMG 150. That should contain urine purified 75 IUs FSH or 150 IUs FSH, depending on the vial, and a good amount of HCG. Now, it might contain a little bit of luteinizing hormone, as well, but it's mostly the FSH and trace amounts of HCG, which replace the luteinizing hormone. So you could get away to start increasing your fertility with 37.5 IUs HMG 3 times per week. 75 IUs would be better. But if you really want to kickstart your fertility, then I would just do 75 IUs FSH or HMG per day. But recombinant FSH has a much higher bioavailability, much higher potency. And again, with urine purified HMG or urine purified HCG, in the purification process and the transport, it seems that it loses potency. And when I did a lot of research, some of these brands only have 80% potency, whereas recombinant FSH and recombinant HCG have 99.7% potency or bioavailability. So I would go with that. And if you try to put a young one on the planet, it's going to be expensive anyway. So spend the money, and AP has got you covered. He's got RFSH and RHCG. And that's what I used. And I got the job done, man. I got one healthy daughter, energetic as fuck, and 2 embryos waiting to be implanted. We'll do the boy. And then if we want another girl, then I can put the girl too. But let's leave it up to my wife. She'll be like 45 or something. And I don't know, having a kid at 45, by the time they're 18, I'm like 100 years old. Ugh. Well, let's see. The iron. I use 1 milliliter testosterone supplement because it helps me keep my health on top. I did blood test every 3 months. It's okay to keep Anavar. All right, he's the one asking about the Anavar. Yeah, so if you get 1 cc testosterone, anything in there, 250 milligrams per week, then add in the Anavar 5 milligrams per day. And if you keep doing your blood works every 3 months, then if you start feeling joint pain, then, well, the Anavar is not the only thing that helps with joints, right? Look into the stack down below regarding collagen, vitamin C, hyaluronic acid, zinc, silica. It all helps with collagen synthesis in the joint tissue. But yeah, Anavar, 5 milligrams, 10 milligrams per day, goes a long way. And otherwise, you can add in 100 milligrams of Deca, dude. You'll be bloated. You'll be watery. You'll have to diet a little bit. But Deca and Anavar together for joints? Ooh. My joints are fucked. I've been doing this too long. I've been doing this since 15 years old. With, let's say, a year and a half break in total. So 41, almost, fuck, I'm 42 next week. 26 years, man. No wonder I feel so beat up. I should get on the Anavar too. I didn't want to take orals for a while. Only receive oral. Yeah. Receiving oral is fine, but taking oral, I don't know. Maybe end of the year. Maybe for Christmas. Maybe for Christmas, Sean. What about taking tadalafil to lower high blood pressure from DMAA? Yeah, you need to put some blood pressure management in place, whether that's potassium, taurine, Cialis, telmisartan, you know. It goes a long way. Watch the blood pressure deep dive with the Anabolic Roundtable, Kurt Havens, Dr. Dean St. Martin, and myself, who went so deep, people jumped off after 10 minutes. They started complaining on Instagram because they lost the context. Also, we're a little bit worried about the increased blood flow making DMAA more intense. Yeah, but that's how it works. So part of DMAA and DMAE effect is increased blood flow, but also vasoconstriction. That's how it helps you set PRs. So trade-offs, man. Trade-off. Hey, Steve, as 46-year-old father of 2, not competing or advanced at any level, dialed in my HRT with Dave L. Dave Lee? Oh, yeah, Dave Lee, yes. You can't put L like that. Dave Lee is not a guy that takes L's. Dave Lee. He's a legend, dude. Fucking nice guy. And he looks like a fucking biker, even though I don't... Dave, if you're watching, do you drive motorcycles? You look like the perfect guy to drive like with a Harley. I can totally see Dave Lee in a Harley at the end of the day, listening to AC/DC, just like I did, and you know, some Def Leppard, just riding around, contemplating his next move in the TRT community. Looking to recon my dead bod even more, what would a good HRT protocol be? Test cream 4 clicks per day. So I don't really like test cream. But dude, if you got your HRT dialed in with Dave Lee, then you don't need me. Dave knows his shit. So you might be on a little bit of DHEA, a little bit of test, maybe pregnenolone if you need it. But, you know, if you want to get leaner, the stuff that we add, the fat burners, it's not HRT plus really. HRT plus is like mostly about the hormones. So you would do a hormone replacement therapy and maybe, you know, something along those lines like Primo. But all the fat burners we run are not really HRT plus approved. This is just research chemicals, right? The SLU, MOTS-c, SS31, methylene blue, mirabegron, clenbuterol. All these fat burners to help you improve your body composition. Carnitine, okay, the carnitine would be HRT plus approved because carnitine is a bioidentical hormone or bioidentical amino acid. Is that yeah, it's amino acid. So that would be HRT plus approved, and methionine and acetylcholine, that's also amino acids. So that would be HRT plus approved. But SLU, I think Dave Lee would. 7 studies, the fuck, bro. Of course, Steve recommended this shit. MOTS-c, no human studies. What are you doing? Even though it's a bioidentical hormone that your mitochondria produce. SS31 is a synthetic, and there's actually a good amount of scientific evidence in humans. So if you want to run a mitochondrial peptide and you need human studies to back it up, SS31 is the one you need to go with. Yes, we'll do a deep dive on it when I get my head out of my ass and I stop being lazy and I actually get back to work. But just allow me this moment with my daughter and my family and my cats. For fuck's sake. I would just look into the mitochondrial support stack, man. That gives you a lot of energy. You'll be energetic. You'll be in a good mood, especially with methylene blue being a MAOI inhibitor. Your serotonin and dopamine levels will go up a little bit. And then with SLU and the MOTS-c and the SS31, yeah, it's probably not Dave Lee approved. It's certainly Vigorous Steve approved. I'm running it right now, and it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I've been running around all day. I went to the gym, set some PRs. Well, for this cycle, not compared to the past. I've been doing stuff all day, and I'm going strong, man, on 2,500 calories. Getting leaner by the day. The Safety Super. Has your opinion on Mastron as a TRT add-on change just to help with drier look and reducing estrogen? Something like 120 milligrams testosterone cypionate per week, 60 milligrams of Mastron per week over 2 to 3 injections. Again, 60 milligrams of Mastron is child's play, man. That's what babies use. That's a female dose. I would do a 1-to-1 ratio of testosterone with Mastron, and you can run any other add-on to your HRT or TRT plus protocol if you want to. It just depends on how much of an effect you get for you to justify the dose and how much it affects your blood work. You can run anything on a TRT plus protocol, man, whether that's Mastron or EQ, Tren, whatever you want, whatever goal you have, you can add it in. I never thought that Mastron was a bad addition, but if you want to go for anabolism, then I would rather go for Primo. And some people have a different opinion on that. They fucking love Mastron. If Mastron was a guy and had a big penis, they would certainly give Mastron a blowjob for free 24/7. And I'm of the firm opinion that Primobolan is a much more suitable anabolic agent. And if that's not the case and Mastron is more anabolic for you, then fine. Go for it. In the end, the results that matter as a trade-off to your blood work. So if Mastron works better for you, go for it. If Primo works better for you, go for it. In the end, it matters that you reach your goals and you stay healthy, right, or reasonably healthy, because taking performance-enhancing drugs is never healthy. Otherwise, health management wouldn't be in place. You have a goal, a certain dose that you can tolerate, and blood work that changes that you can tolerate and manage. Whatever compound combination. Dude, I'm doing a cut with Test, Deca, and Trestolone. and a little bit of an aromatase inhibitor, right? Most people would say, why would you do that? You're not going to get lean. I'm getting fucking leaner and stronger. My joints feel pretty fucking good for the amount of weights that I'm lifting. You know? Slow and controlled. And so, dude, if it works, go for it. And don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. But I've noticed that as long as you train hard and you diet correctly, then pretty much everything works. And the rest is just optimization. Elia Barasadas. Female. Holy shit, guys. Oh, I got a female in the chat. I don't know what to do. I'm nervous. She's stacking Retrotide mitochondrial support stack, so that's SLU, methylene blue, MOTS-c. CrossFitter. Your girl's all 90-year-old, right? And I work outside all day in South Florida. Furnace. Oh, man, that's hot. Would adding Anavar 2.5 milligrams accelerate fat loss? Not directly, but you prevent the potential muscle loss from Retrotide if you're not eating enough protein and not training hard enough. But you're a CrossFitter, so you're probably training hard enough. Anavar and the mitochondrial support stack and Retrotide are not WADA approved. Well, they're not. Some of them are not listed, but you're not a natty, so you can't pass the drug test. Keep that in mind. But 2.5 milligrams Anavar will put more strength on you, more muscle mass on you, and thus your baseline caloric needs and energy expenditure would be higher, resulting in fat loss, assuming that you keep your diet the same. Yeah, 2.5 milligrams of Anavar I feel is very female-friendly for longer periods of time. A couple weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, 16 weeks. Again, go by the side effects, make a little video of your voice, and, well, picture of your junk, and as a baseline. And as soon as you see any kind of change, you abort. The voice changes, the clitoral changes, you abort, right? And delete all those pictures off your phone, because the last thing you want is for your phone to be lost, and then you get a whole slew of clitoral shots waiting to be dumped on the internet. The videos, okay, fine, but the crotch shots, I don't know. Right, keep them stored somewhere safe. But yeah, that's would be my recommendation. Right, Anavar is all 100% Anavar. The Anavar that I have on the source list, very very high likelihood to be Anavar, because I know many of these sources that I work with, they batch test before they even produce. Otherwise, they wouldn't produce. Some of them they list the tests on their website as well. And otherwise, you order a batch, you send it off to Januszek for testing. And then if you're 100% sure that it's Anavar, then you run Anavar 2.5 milligrams per day until you reach your goals, or until side effects manifest that you don't feel comfortable with. But you should be able to get the job done on the stack that you already have. Just make sure you keep those electrolytes and the water flowing, because, well, South Florida is just as hot as Thailand. I remember all the people that go there during the summer that are bitching, and I'm like, yeah, it's the same as Thailand. Fuck. Grow a pair. Stay lean. It helps. And it's not really a big deal. Hot and humid. Good for your skin. And you don't have to spend so much money on clothes. Steve, you got long pants? No, I got shorts. Steve, you got a jacket? What's that? Steve, you got a coat? Peter de Villiers, rephrase dumb question. Could you use a substance to bind up estrogen receptors in the liver while using PCT if risk in blood clots generally high? I really don't know what you're getting at. But enclomiphene, Clomid, yes, have risk of blood clots. So vitamin K, vitamin D3, aspirin, if you're really worried about that. Not getting vaxxed. Don't be around anybody that got C19. You know, check your clotting factors, your fibrinogen, and your thrombopoietin. Fuck, I forgot. But there's a couple markers you can test. Yeah, and that puts you less in risk. You know, obviously a shorter duration. So 4 weeks on enclomiphene or Clomid has a less likely chance for you to develop blood clots than doing an Anavar-only cycle with enclomiphene for 12 weeks. That's just fucking stupid. That's what beta males do. But if you want to run a PCT, then yeah. Something you can look into. $100, holy moly. I haven't seen one of those in a while. Thank you very much. Ben Hawkins, 18. That's a lot of dollars for somebody who's 18. You're talking about he's 34. Guys, he's 34. It's not a height protocol. Cutting 6 weeks, then wanting to go into a bulk to push new size and strength PRs. Age 34, 15% body fat, visible abs, but full love handles, running weekly 200 milligrams testosterone, 3 milligrams Primo, 5 milligrams MOTS-c per week, 5 milligrams SLU-PP-332. What should I change when I go to a 24-week bulk? I would cut until you're 8% body fat, because then your bulk is going to be a lot more successful. And if you end up at 12% body fat after 6 weeks, you probably get down to 12% on that stack, 10 at best, but it's probably 12. Then by the time you're in your 24-week bulk, you'll be 20% body fat, not 20 years old, 20% body fat. And that's very unfuckable, dude, and you know it. If you have full love handles but slightly visible abs, after 24 weeks of bulking, quote unquote, dude, nobody would want to bang you. Maybe if you take them from behind after 3 glasses of wine, but it's not gonna happen. There's always gonna be some shredded dude, you know, swooping up the girls that you want to end up with. So keep dieting. How about you do a 12-week cut and a 20-week bulk, and then you run exactly the same protocol all the way through, albeit that you might have to increase to 300 tests and 500 Primo at the end of your cut, probably. It's enough to get lean. It's probably better just to run 300 tests and 500 Primo at the start of your cut. Use a higher dose to get shredded while maintaining your strength, and then reducing the dose while increasing the food when you start bulking. Because in a bulk, you can rely on calories for anabolism and less on steroids. And then the 5 milligrams MOTS-c and 5 milligrams SLU-PP-332 will help with mitochondrial function, obviously, energy production, and help you lean. Because SLU is a exercise mimetic, and MOTS-c obviously helps the mitochondria keep firing. And so you end up at 12% body fat after, 10% body fat after 12 weeks of cutting. And then you're maybe 12% body fat by the time you finish your bulk. I think that's a much better idea. Yeah. A higher dose during your cut, and then dropping the dose down while you're bulking, but the cut is a little bit longer. I hope you got your money's worth, man. $100 is a lot. It's a lot. Ugario. Contributors to facial swelling, water retention, inflammation. What would you test for? Aldosterone, cortisol, what ancillary lifestyle habits would help, assuming estradiol and body fat levels is under control? Sodium intake? Maybe it's that. Aldosterone, cortisol, yeah, you can... you can bring your cortisol levels down with Gorilla Calm or Emodin. Right? They help with ashwagandha root extract, phosphatidylserine. It all helps bring your cortisol levels down. Maybe you're just chronically inflamed from some of the foods that you're eating. Do a food allergy test. Aldosterone you can manipulate with high sodium intake, but consistent sodium intake that will drop your aldosterone levels. But you will hold some water at the end of the day, man. I hold water now too. I wake up, I look lean, I have a skull face. See, I didn't have this a couple weeks ago. But this is what you want. Right, that's what you want. Chat face. I've been practicing. So, consistent sodium intake, consistent water intake. Do a food elimination diet to remove any kinds of foods that could swell you, give you inflammation. And don't eat so many carbs. Be in a caloric restrictive state. Retatrutide helps with that, even when your body fat levels are under control. But the problem is you just start to retain more water towards the end of the day. So a lot of guys, like for me, some people say, Steve, you look tired during these Q&As. Well, fuck, man, it's the end of the day. It's 1:30 here. It's 1:30. I went to the gym. I did all kinds of shit today. And sometimes during the podcast as well, I said, Steve, you look haggard. Dude, I recorded a podcast an hour after I finished training legs. What do you expect? I had like 4 meals in, 8 liters of water, and I just trained legs. Give me a break. But I will wake up the next morning, I look lean, I look sexy, I look appealing. My wife actually wants to fuck me or sit on my face. Right? And then towards the end of the day, it all falls apart. So, yeah, it's just in the morning you're more attractive, man. if you want to do camera work or hustle the hotties, do it in the morning after a good night's sleep and a couple peas, and that's the way to go. What are your thoughts on IGF-1 DES? Does it really work as intended? It didn't do anything for me and nobody that I talked to. IGF-1 LR3 worked for me at 1 milligram per day. But IGF-1 or Increlex, the real deal, blows DES and LR3 out of the water. And actually, when you break it down, or at least the money that I get, right? IGF-1 DES and LR3, how much is that for 1 milligram? $50, $60? I'd pay less for that for Increlex, man. Increlex is cheaper. Is it? Oh yeah, way cheaper. So let's say street value, right? $700 for Increlex divided by 40. That's $17.50 per milligram. Good luck finding IGF-1 LR3 for $17.5 dollars. $17.5. No way, no way. Increlex is way cheaper, and I don't pay $700 for my Increlex. I pay like $10 per milligram. That's what I pay. So, you know, I'm gonna ramp it up to like 2 milligrams Increlex soon, and then maybe 3 or 4, and then see if I can make some sweet fucking gains. But let's see. But now, IGF-1 DES, escape your money, man. IGF-1 LR3, if you get a good bulk deal, go for it. If you can find Increlex, even at $750, it's cheaper than IGF-1 LR3 and DES, and you get 2 or 4 times the results. So stick with the real deal. Ben Hawkins, what's up? Welcome to the Vigorous crew. You should have become a member before you super chatted me $100, man. Because becoming a member is like $10. This guy spent $110 today. Give this guy some love, man. But yeah, I now feel bad for you. First you super chatted me $100, and then you become a member. You could have just fucking become a member and asked me. Well, I'll gladly put that money in the cheesecake fund. Actually, dude, you know what? You almost got me. I haven't built it yet. We're gonna. Sorry, Alvaro. Give me a second. You know what? You almost got me today. Come on, Google. Don't. We're on the clock here. Come on. Here, this one. I got this sitting downstairs. You can see it? Yeah. This is Soundwave, but Lego. $190. Laserbeak. Transform. Yeah, that's waiting for me. So that was $190. So came close, man. Drew. Or Ben, sorry. Ben, you're a fucking legend, man. You almost bought me Soundwave for my pre-birthday. I'm trying to cut. Is it okay to take Yohimbine twice a day? Yes, but it works better in a fasted state because blocking the alpha-2 adrenergic receptors, as soon as there's a little bit of insulin present, then you get diminishing returns on that effect. So I only take well, it's not true. I take Yohimbine in the morning, orally, 3 milligrams, but I take a Revulsine, less side effects. And I inject, 2 milligrams Yohimbine with my 20 micrograms clenbuterol before the workout, 5 times a week. And it seems to work quite well. Yeah, but it works better in the morning. Bro, stop it. You got too much money. You put some money into Pepe and Shiba Coin and Fun Token, and now you got cash to blow. I did it too, man. I got cash to blow also. That's why I bought Soundwave. So now you're $60, no, $70 short of buying me Soundwave. You're on the right track, Ben. We'll increase the length of cut or he will increase the length of the cut. Would adding growth hormone or growth hormone secretagogue make the cut and bulk more successful? Go with real growth hormone. You're 34 years old. Start with 2 IUs, ramp it up to maybe 4 IUs, depending on water retention. You'll retain less water on growth hormone while cutting than you do while bulking. Now, while bulking, you should not bulk like a fucking maniac. You should still eat healthy. Whatever food you were eating during your cut, you eat the exact same thing during your quote-unquote bulk or off-season or progress season, however you want to call it. You just eat more calories, right? So if steak and potatoes and chicken and salmon and eggs and a little bit of rice and a good amount of vegetables got you lean, then you reduce the vegetables, but you increase the carbs a little bit and maybe the healthy fats over time as you get stronger, and then you'll stay lean, you know, especially with the MOTS-c and SLU in the picture, if you keep taking that consistently. But you'll retain more water because you get more calories in, obviously. You get a little bit more of an insulin release from the carbohydrates that you take, and then with the growth hormone, you compound on that water. So growth hormone while cutting will automatically make you retain less water, and thus you can use a higher dose, which a higher dose does help with fat loss. And then in the off-season, again, you could reduce the dose a little bit to prevent the excessive water retention, because more growth hormone does mean more water retention. But then you let the food do the animalism. So you need less growth hormone for the synergistic effect between the steroids. So I always took less drugs during the off-season than during a cutting phase. I would take more drugs to compensate for the lack of anabolism that would otherwise come from food. Nowadays, people kind of change their mind on that. They take less gear while it cuts because they just need to preserve muscle, and then when they bulk hard, they ramp up the drugs and manage the blood pressure changes with the ancillaries, obviously. That's why everybody's on Telmisartan now. And God forbid you take less drugs. Oh, no. Blasphemy. Yeah, so there's different ways to look at it. Or you keep the drugs the same as a cut and a bulk, and then you really grow hard. You know, you got to figure it out for yourself, man. Just figure it out for yourself. But yeah, I would add in the growth hormone. Forget about the growth hormone secretagogues. You're obviously loaded because you spent $120 here today. So if you're loaded, get yourself some real growth hormone. You've deserved it, man. Go for it. Input for off-season cycle. 100 tests, 200 deca, 150 AQ, 80 Mastron plus HCG. It seems like the ratio between test and deca is a little bit off. I would do 200 tests, 100 deca, 150 AQ, and 200 Mastron. Yeah. But that's just me. And again, all these doses are so low, you're probably not going to notice much of a difference, you know. Again, Trenbolone, Superdrol, Halotestin, those are very powerful, but lower dosages. But yeah, deca 200 milligrams, sure, but I would take at least 200 to 300 milligrams test with that. EQ at 150 milligrams, it's not much for aromatase enzyme inhibition to keep your estrogen in range on this test and deca dose, even if you flip it. And Mastron 80 milligrams is probably also not enough. So on this cycle, you would probably need an aromatase inhibitor on top of that, or you could take 200 tests, 100 deca for joint lubrication, 300 EQ, 200 Mastron and HCG, and then, you know, if it's off-season cycle, then, well, fucking at least use some off-season dosages. Yeah, but I'm also main gaining. So basically, bro didn't make any progress during the off-season. I started the off-season at 225 pounds, and I ended the off-season at 225 pounds. Maximum facepalm. Let's charge it up. Charge it. And then slap yourself so hard you get the red imprint. What's up, bro? Welcome to the Vigorous crew. Let's see. Oh, Jesus Christ, this guy never stops. About PCT, father's side die of blood clots. Should I just cruise and not PCT? I don't know. If you're really worried about blood clots, why don't you run all the blood tests to check about blood clots, right? There's just so many markers you can test. And if you take vitamin K and vitamin D3 and aspirin, your clotting factor should all be normal, and you prevent blood clots. And you know, instead of aspirin, you can look into fish oil and vitamin E. That also helps with quote unquote thinning of the blood. So vitamin K, fish oil, vitamin D, vitamin E, it will keep everything good. And yeah, there's less risk of running a PCT if you do enclomiphene or Clomid for 4 weeks compared to doing an oral only cycle with Anadrol and or Anavar and clomiphene for months on end. Oral gangster told me Anadrol balance up estrogen receptor. Yeah, so that's why you don't listen to these guys. Don't listen to these guys, man. Do your own research. Welcome to the Vigorous crew. Benjamin, what's up, bro? Benjamin, do you know Honda NM4? Benjamin is a professional motorcyclist. Dude, I bought a Honda NM4. I'll answer your question soon. I showed some pictures on my Instagram, right? I'm waiting to get it wrapped. So this is a Honda NM4. God, it doesn't work well like this, right? Guys, Google it. Honda NM4. It's a motorcycle from 2017. It looks like the Kaneda bike from Akira, obviously. And they're actually making an Akira bike electric, or a Kaneda bike electric here in Thailand, which might be released in a year. And that looks exactly like the Kaneda bike. I'll put that article down below. What do you think of tuner test with tuner Primo for I use growth hormone? That's absolutely fantastic. But it would be better if you take 250 milligrams Primo. Yeah. Smart Tech Rapid K 19088. This you gotta see. If you love motorcycles, I'll put it down below. They might actually bring this into production here in Thailand. And this is straight up Kaneda bike. It's white here. But yeah, this looks absolutely fantastic. Benjamin, go have a look. So I bought a Honda NM4. I'm going to wrap it in gold. And then for the guys who live in Bangkok, at the end of the month, I'll put that here too. I know there's a lot of guys here watching this living in Thailand. There's the Honda or the Bangkok Auto Salon at Baitek, Bang Na, so it's close to Muscle Factory, 2 stations further, from August 27th to 31st, so end of this month. I'll be there. Hopefully I can display my bike, but otherwise I'll park it outside. Because this Honda NM4 is like the coolest fucking motorcycle I've ever seen. I wanted one for a very long time. And I had my assistant call all the secondhand shops here. So like 50 secondhand shops. Do you have a Honda NM4? Do you have a Honda NM4? And then one guy knew a guy who just got it, but didn't post it yet. So I contacted that thing, said, don't fucking post it. Hold it for me. 7,000 kilometers. 2017, so that's a newer model with all the bells and whistles on the dashboard, changing colors when you go from neutral to drive to sports mode to manual. And the manual's with finger shifting, just like a Ferrari, right? Like a sports car. So I don't use the fucking clutch and the fucking gear changer. I just use my fingers. So I want to go up to gear 6, boop, and then it shifts when it wants. It's like a quick shift, basically. So I wanted one for a very long time, and then I found one, only 7,000 kilometers, not a single scratch, for like $6,000 or something, and then and normally they sell them for $8,000 to $10,000 with 16,000 kilometers on it, which is terrible. You hear the starter motor going like, and then it starts going. So every time you see a video like that, you're fucking cringing. Like, fuck, I gotta buy this bike for $10,000 with 16,000 kilometers, and I gotta change the fucking starter motor. Holy shit. So I got super lucky. I guess this guy needed money or something quick, and he sold his NM4. He thought he would never get rid of it. So I bought it 2 days after this secondhand shop got it. I took it in for service, put another $500 in there to change the air filter and the engine oil and all that stuff. And now I'm gonna get it wrapped for about $800 in metallic gold. 2 kinds of metallic gold. One is like chrome gold at the top, and the bottom is like black gold. I think you got a picture of that. With tech wrap. You got to order that from the US. Where is it? Yeah, like this. At the bottom. I'll take some pictures when it's done. And then this is the top. And then I'm gonna drive it at 2 o'clock in the morning on Sukhumvit Road. So if you ever, guys, if you're ever in Thailand, you're going out, partying, getting fucking drunk, and you see like a fucking gold monster driving by with a guy with smoking a cigar, that's me. Just yell, Steve, and I'll stop. I'll let you admire. Benjamin knows, dude. This thing goes 120, 120, 750 cc's. I know Benjamin goes like 300. I'm so happy with this thing, dude. It's hilarious, this bike. Okay, back to the drug questions. Adam asks, I've always had either pale yellow, crystal clear, not golden yellow, like Tren. Okay, so the Tren is always different colors. Could it be because of the way it's suspended in MCT oil and add preservatives like benzoyl, benzoate, and benzoyl alcohol? Now, apparently, trembolone acetate can oxidize, react with oxygen, and change colors. And it happens during the brewing process, not as it's suspended. So something during the brewing process changes, or maybe in the conversion of estradiol in 7 steps to trembolone acetate, right after they add in the ester, the acetate ester. And then maybe it's oxidized somewhere there. I think we discussed this with Kurt, but I forgot. Kurt is very into the chemistry and stuff. Maybe we should discuss that on the next anabolic roundtable. Why some trend is like fucking yellow and the other one look like piss or orangey. But yeah, it always has like a little bit of a color. I still have some trend in the camera just in case. And then when I open it, it's like, oh, I don't really want to inject that. And then I put it right back in the bottle. Or just in case, man. Man, it would be a cycle, no? Like 300 test and then 300 deca, 150 trestolone, and then 50 milligrams trenbolone. All the progestogenic 19 Norse. I'd probably turn into a cow. Which fucking, I don't know. I don't think it's a good idea. But yeah, apparently it oxidizes and thus it changes the color. And, through the grapevine, a more golden yellow Tren is more potent regarding Tren cough than the lighter Tren, right? But that's never been proven in human studies because there's no human studies on trembolone. Benjamin, take 250 milligrams test and 250 Primo, and then reduce the exemestane. Yeah, absolutely. You probably don't need exemestane on this stack because it's a 1-to-1 ratio, and it usually keeps estradiol levels in range or favorable. Now, he knows his bike. I got stopped by the police like 7 times. And they're like, Honda NM4, how much did you pay? I think there's like 20 of them in Thailand. And now I was every night I look at motorbikes. I want the Verge Pro TS. It's an electric motorcycle, which has I think the engine is in the wheel. So it's hubless. It's like you can look through it. 3 wires go into it, and it's electric motorcycles is always a bit of a taboo. But this one, man, it looks so nice because it's hubless and the engine is in the wheel. And this thing goes fast as fuck too. But they don't have it in Thailand. And importing motorcycles into Thailand is a little bit cumbersome. And I saw, what else? I got all these bikes bookmarked. I mean, I would like a Honda Rune and a Honda DN01. And I was at the Honda Big Wing shop to get my motorcycle serviced, right? And then they had a fucking Goldwing, the latest model, the 1800 cc's. And I got the price down. I was like, how much for this show model? This is a 2024 model, right? So yeah, because they're going to release a 50-year anniversary edition. So you get the old one to clear the stock. And I got the price down to like $1 million baht, which is like $30,000, which is a really good deal for a Goldwing, man. With the fucking backseat and the dual clutch transmission and all the bells and whistles. And I already have 3 motorbikes. So I'm like, fuck, I don't even know where to put it. So Honda Rune, Honda DN01. I want this electric EV. What is it called? The Verge. I don't know what happened, man. I saved money until I was 40, and now that I'm 40, over 40, I just want to spend it all. Um, yeah, Verge TS Ultra. And then in Italy, they also have an electric motorcycle called a Lacoma Monoposto, which is like $45,000 if you. God, but this thing looks so godly. Anyway, we're getting way too off track. Steve, it's tests. I've sent you a message. Look it up. What? What are you talking about? Pale yellow, crystal clear, not golden like trend. We're talking about test here. I know all my test is clear. Sometimes testosterone annotated in MCT, like the one from Belligas, I think that's a little bit yellowy as well. I don't know what it is. Like the Primo and the testosterone annotate that I have from Bayer. Yes, I have Bayer Rimabolin in my cabinet. I got 32 ampules from a good friend of mine, Adrian Dunn. So I got Primo, bro. I said, how much you got? So I got 32 amps. How much you want? I said, take me out to dinner. And then he paid for dinner. I'm like, fuck, what are you doing, Adrian? Please give me let me give you a reach around. So I got all this Primo. We're saving that for a rainy day. But yeah, the Belligas test that I'm using right now is also a little bit yellowy. It's a UGL, man. Can't complain. It's good UGL. It's good UGL, but you can't complain. Backup trend break. Yeah, break valve in case of emergency. Yeah, but when shit hits the fan, man, you gotta get that trend in your system, and then then life will be better. All right. Oh, we reached the end of the chat. All right. It only took 1 hour and 51 minutes. Did somebody send me a message on IG? Fuck, I've been forgetting to post Instagram reels for like days. Because every time it's like bottle feeding time at like 11:30, and then it takes 30 minutes, right? And you have to, change the diaper, and then, I gotta swaddle her a little bit and do the walking around, and, get her to calm down a little bit and get sleepy and stuff. And then before you know it, it's 1 o'clock. You spend 1.5 hours with the baby, doing your fucking job as a man. And then I totally forgot to post the Instagram reel. So, hey, but I should give you guys a lot of credit, because you guys keep using my discount codes. And even though I didn't work fuck all and didn't produce any new content for the last 8 weeks, my income hasn't changed. So, and I have you guys to thank for, because at one point I thought, shit, man, this month I'm not going to make, decent money, but it just keeps going in. So kudos to myself for doing all those deep dives. And kudos to you guys for keep using my discount codes, because even though it's summer holiday, the affiliate sales have been flowing in aplenty. So much appreciated. At least makes me not worry too much at the end of the month. And even though I'm financially set, like you would, I don't want to touch my savings. I still want the money to come in, and so I can buy more Bitcoin at the end of the month. Yeah, my daughter has a Bitcoin already. Isn't that amazing? Imagine how much money that would be worth when she's 18. And I'm for my son and my daughter, I'll probably collect 10 Bitcoin. So the Bitcoin that I gave my daughter, I bought obviously in a dip, right? It was about $17,000 or something. So that's 10x already. I'm not going to trade it. It's already there on one of those sticks. So by the time she's 18, it's probably $1 million. And if I buy like 9 more on the next dip, what's the floor going to be? 30, 40,000? Oh, fuck, that's a lot of money. Okay, maybe if I buy 2 more. I love you a lot, but I don't love you that much. But imagine if you can give your kids like 3 Bitcoin or something, like around now, around the time. So let's say 3 Bitcoin at the time of the next dip, right? Fingers crossed, there's going to be dip again around 30, 35,000, maybe 50,000. You buy 1, 2 or 3. By 150,000. I think that's a well worth investment. By the time they're 18, you give them a stick, or maybe 25 if they're low. They need to go through that phase first. You give them a stick, and there's like assets in there that could change their life. They could buy a house, they could buy a car, you know, and it didn't cost much. All you have to do is sit on it, you know, buy it, sit on it, forget it. So that's my plan. My daughter already has 117,000. Is it 117,000? Or where are we now? 116,700 to her name, and I think that's a great way to start life. Oh, here we go. I lost a full packet of Mind before BTC was worth it. Yeah, it's a lot of stories like that, right? 25 BTC was the package at the time. Fuck, man. I minded, then stopped and lost the password to the ball. It's gone forever. Fucking hurts, man. Yeah, luckily I never lost any Bitcoin. Luckily, yeah, once I got in, I saw the value, and I just kept accumulating. Yeah, I donated one of my Bitcoin to my daughter when she was born, and it's safely stored on a cold wallet, and that makes me very happy. Because by the time it, like, you know how it goes, like, it's already hard to buy a house when you're this age. At this time, now the housing market is way overextended. You need to wait a little bit for the next housing market crash. 2 or 3 years. Let's give it some time. But by the time, 18 years, how many market cycles is that? 4.5 market cycles. Fuck, man. That'll be 1 million at least. Don't listen to these guys that say it's going to go to 1 million this market cycle, okay? And that's usually towards the end. And October is pretty much the time that you need to start laddering out. And then as the end of the bull market starts to come closer, all these fucking influencers just start raising the goalpost. 250,000, 500,000, right? All these guys that bought at the bottom, they're like trying to get retail in to buy as much as they can, and they got their fucking sales order sets already at various stages. And once the ETF starts selling, dude, it's fucking over. And the infinite money glitch that Michael Saylor has for what is it called? Strategy, MicroStrategy. I mean, dude, once that falls apart, it's gonna crash so hard. So you don't have to sell at the top. You just have to sell when you feel it's the highest point. And if it goes a little bit higher, don't FOMO. Just wait a fucking year or 1 year and 3 months, and then buy at the fucking bottom, like I did. And then you DCA on top of that. Anyway, Gorilla Chemist ran SLU at 4. Yeah, we just discussed it. So he said he extrapolated the human equivalent dose to 4 milligrams per kilogram of body weight. So it will be 400 milligrams for his body weight at 100 kilos. But he ran 100 milligrams. Or at least that's what I got from his short. And I was like, fuck, dude, 100 milligrams? Obviously, you don't take 400 tablets of Modern Amino or some of the other affiliates that produce tablets of 250 micrograms. And dude, at 1 milligram or 2 milligrams per day, you definitely already noticed it. So I don't know how wired he was or how fucked up his mitochondria are, which I don't think so. He's pretty fucking smart. But yeah, 100 milligrams per day, Jesus fucking Christ, man. I would like to run that experiment. I'd probably combust. Do you guys remember X-Files, where it was like one of the episodes, there was one guy, he had a shadow or something, and then people would get into a shadow and they would spontaneously combust and just fall to the floor and leave like a fucking black mark on the carpet. And then Mulder, right? He's like, kind of looks like a guy that was standing like this. And then the guy ended up at the fucking train station where were so many lights that he didn't have a shadow. That was a great movie. A great episode. Man, we don't have anything like that anymore, no? I just dated myself again. But yeah, he ran 100 milligrams per day. Do you invest in indices like NQ and YM? What? Indices. I don't know what that means. Guys, started posting some questions. There's 200 people here. We can keep going. Or do you guys want me to talk about motorcycles? And obscure 80 shit. Why do insulin needles sometimes don't disperse? Where you mean that it gets stuck in the needle? I don't know what you mean. Or that they don't disperse the insulin needles to you because you look like a heroin addict. I'm sorry, sir, we can't give you these insulin needles because we also know that you're going to shoot up the heroin. Would love to hear Steve talk more about money. We should do like a finance Q&A, no? Should we do a finance Q&A next time? Why do you think MicroStrategy crashed? It usually crashes. It peaks well before the Bitcoin peak, and then Bitcoin starts to rally, and it's the same cycle as before. I don't really follow stock that much. I follow the S&P, obviously, just to kind of see what the overall trends are in the market. Stocks are just a little bit too difficult to trade. Like with the cryptocurrency, you can just sign up to exchanges, put as much money on the exchange as you feel comfortable with, and then you have like 10 exchanges running. Maybe one has, like, for example, you have $1 million to spend. One has like $500,000. It would be Binance, right? You put 50% into Binance. It's a little bit more trustworthy than like all these new and weird exchanges. But the new and weird exchanges, they might have altcoins that you're interested in that could do like a 50x, and then you only have to put $1,000 in there. You get 50x, you get $50,000, right? And you can go to the weird exchanges where definitely your risk of the exchange shutting down, like FTX. Like, guys, when the cryptocurrency market ends, this bull market ends, take all of your money off the exchanges and put it into cold storage, because you never know which exchange will go down, and otherwise you will lose all your money. Right? So you do your trade, you take your money off the exchanges. It sucks when you have exchanges where you need to KYC, or some of them have withdrawal limits. So let's say you're doing millions, then it takes several days to withdraw, right? And in those several days that you're withdrawing, the market conditions might have changed, and it takes several days to get it back on the exchange. So that kind of sucks. And so that's something you have to realize. So it's probably better to be on 10 exchanges and just send the money all the time. Yeah, you'll lose a lot on the transaction fees, but you spread your risk, and you never know when these when the bull market crash comes. Take all the money off the exchanges, put it in cold storage, and spread that around even between various things. So you have some on Exodus wallet, some on Trezor, some on other shit. You just got to spread it around, because you have no security when it comes to cryptocurrency. And it's not like a bank where you can just show up physically like, hey, bro, give me my fucking money. Yeah, so spread it around, and that way you can just, instead of having a KYC where you're entitled to 20 million on an exchange, for example, in withdrawals or deposits, you do a little bit on each exchange, and then it's easier to transfer the money in and out. Is there a way to copy all your trades? No. I don't want to be responsible for anybody else's finance. Sign up to Camel Finance. He's got a great YouTube channel where he teaches you this stuff. Or Casper. Casper Crew. Let me see. Who am I subscribed to? Ivan, Uptake is good for the news. Crypto RS is good for the news. Camel Finance is excellent when it comes to... just had a son, by the way. Congrats, Camel. He's excellent on doing overall market analysis. Same as Jason Pizzino and his brother. What was his name? Michael Pizzino. And they all got like member sites where you could sign on board. Benjamin Cohen. If you want to buy altcoins, watch some Benjamin Cohen. He'll tell you exactly when it's time to ladder into altcoins. So for the last 3 years, he's been telling you, don't buy any altcoins. They're just bleeding against Bitcoin. They're just oscillating at best. I've been following the advice and just trading Bitcoin. And now it's about time to buy some altcoins. And who else? Jason Casper, if you just want to have an entertaining live stream for cryptocurrency trading. This guy can freestyle, you don't even want to know. And he's fit as fuck. So that has my respect. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. The rest is all anabolic channels. Yeah, so let me repeat it. Ivan on Tech, Cryptos or Us for cryptocurrency news. Camel Finance, Jason Pizzino, and Michael Pizzino for technical analysis and overall market structure. Let's see. Mega Well Crypto also. Yeah, he's pretty good. Benjamin Cohen, just to understand the relations between the different cryptocurrencies that are there. And Jason Casper, just for entertaining live streams. He's funny as fuck, man. He's funny as fuck. But don't copy my trades. Don't do it. Because I've lost millions in trades. But I gained millions also. So it's, kind of evens, it average itself out. Thank God for fluvoxamine. 80% down. Oh no. Dude, you need balls of steel for this shit. You need balls of fucking steel for this shit, dude. Where are we? Here, Tarek. Would 125 milligrams testosterone and 200 milligrams EQ be enough to keep E2 in range? Yeah, absolutely. Probably be too low. Train good and feel good? Yeah. Should be enough. Body fat 20%? Yeah, that should be okay. I think that's a good stack. But do your blood work 4 weeks into that to see where your estrogen is at. And it might be too low because the ratio is a little bit high. But again, maybe you need a little bit more of a favorable EQ compared to your testosterone because your body fat levels are high. And again, blood work will tell you what to do. Jason Casper. Hard fork, you get your own crypto channel or what? Casper crew, Camel crew, Vigorous crew. All young, sexy adult men into cryptocurrency trading. I think Camel goes to the gym as well. He sounds like a guy that goes to the gym. He's funny as fuck also. Cycle lows, bro. Pulse chain. There's so many of these coins now, man. It's a waste of time to shill altcoins. What do you think about NVIDIA stock? Currently owning 260x. Not sure if the 40K are better invested in crypto or something else. Yeah, I don't know. I don't look at stocks. I know Paul Barnett is heavily into stocks, and mostly tech stocks, and he did very well for himself. But then again, Tesla has been kind of going to shit, and that's so. And I'm not a hodl guy. If I see a red flag, I'm fucking selling it, even if it gives me a 10% loss. Then I'd rather buy back in when it's 50% down. Yeah, that means you sometimes lose like 200K. It sucks. Fucking hurts. Sell it like you're like, oh fuck. But that's the life of trading. That's the life. That's why you can't take it too serious, because it's a dynamic, like cryptocurrency is like a dynamic savings account. So you could be up 200% and then down 50% or 30% from that top. So you're up. Well, let's say you're still up. You're still up. Sometimes you look like when it starts rallying, right, and you're set in good, you look at your P&L and you're like, Jesus fucking Christ. That's a lot of unrealized gains. And then you feel like selling, you don't do it, and then it hits the RSI and all the fucking red flags, and you get a little bit greedy, and then you see your P&L go down, which is significant, and then you're down 10% from the top, and you're like, fuck, man. I should have sold. Yeah, you need balls and steels for this shit. Will you ever do a video on drug testing? No, that shouldn't be made public, because then you make it very easy for WADA, and fuck WADA. So I used to offer that service, but I don't keep in touch with the drug testing anymore. So you can clearly see it on my consultations page that I don't do drug testing anymore because I don't feel confident in my abilities because I haven't really done much drug testing advice in the last couple of years. The high level stuff. And sometimes people want to still hire me and I just give them their money back because I don't feel confident in my abilities anymore. When I was completely engraved in bodybuilding coaching and helping people at the World Championships and whether that was WBPF or IFBB Elite or helping some Olympic athletes or CrossFit athletes or IPF, like was that Drug Tested Federation, the Powerlifting Federation. I was heavily entailed in that. I was keeping up to date, but right now I just mostly focus on YouTube and making informational content, and it means that I don't really spend time on the latest development. So it would not be good for me from a athlete perspective, and that the information that I present might not be up to date, and then people still fail. So sorry, can't do it. Being greedy is my sell indicator. Yeah, I've learned my lesson, man. I've learned my lesson. It's very sincere and integral. As always, do you think MOTS-c or malt peptides get busted as often? So MOTS-c just was added to the prohibited list. But it has a 4-hour half-life or something. So I think you can metabolize it in a couple days. And I don't see anybody get popped for MOTS-c yet. Just because it's on the list and I have a detection method for it doesn't mean that people are not passing the test. It's usually full-blown steroid cycles. And then sometimes they cover it up. They don't want that to become public knowledge. They just keep it in internal. But honestly, dude, there's no fucking reason to compete in drug-tested federations. Because, one, unless you do government-sponsored drug-tested stuff, like the Olympics or IFBB or WBPF World Championships, where you actually get prize money from your own government, it's not worth it. Because CrossFit maybe pays a little bit, but most of the places where you get drug tested, there's no money in it. There's no money in it, so why bother? MOTS-c, I think it's a couple day detection time, but I could be mistaken there. So don't hold me accountable. I have a deep dive on this, bro, and I debunked it there. The upper mouse models, yeah. So if you go with the animal models, it will be 300, 400 milligrams per day. But I don't know anybody. Well, okay, Gorilla Chemist just went up to 100 milligrams per day, I think, and he was fine. So he's the only high dose, quote unquote, high dose person that we know. So he should definitely make a video, but he's more of an Instagram guy. YouTube deep dive with his anecdotal experience. Like 1 minute, if you're on Instagram for 1 minute, I don't take it serious. Explain it to me in 20 minutes. Then we take it serious. But 1 minute short, yeah, I was fine. Show me the blood work, Show me the before and after pictures, like I always done. When I run an experiment, it's fucking thorough with before and after blood work, before and after pictures, and 30 minutes at least of proper education. So I'm waiting for some proper education from Gorilla Chemist before I take that seriously. Even I would be willing to run it because the animal models, again, showed little deleterious or no deleterious effects. But 500 micrograms, I run it. That's where I started, and I noticed an immediate effect. And 1 milligram, I noticed more of an effect. And 2 milligrams, I noticed more of an effect. I can't imagine what 100 milligrams would feel like. I can't imagine. So yeah, some people go with the animal model. So yeah, you need to run 100 milligrams. Okay, motherfucker. Go do 100 milligrams. First, pay for it. Like I always pay for my own drug. Well, I get it for free, but at least I'm getting the drugs. Then I'm running the experiment. I do what I say I'm going to do. I do the before and after blood work and the before and after pictures. And until I see somebody else do that, besides Chase Irons, who's very good at that, I don't take these guys serious. All right? Put your fucking money where your fucking mouth is. Otherwise, it's just theory. Me and Chase put it into practice. That's it. Nobody else does this. Yeah, what you combine BAM 15 with... Okay, show me the fucking blood work and the pictures, dude. Don't just sit there like a fat bag of dicks talking about theory. Show me the fucking proof. Then you can open your mouth. And I would suggest you guys not to take these guys too serious, because there's talk and there's proof to back it up. And this entire channel has been about fucking proof. Everything I recommend, I've tried on myself first. Every fucking thing. There's not just theory. There's hands-on experience. So, and that separates me from the rest. That's why I have 155,000 subscribers. Fuck the other guys. Yeah, but Steve doesn't know what he's talking about. Yeah. Let's see, where are we? Before I go on a tangent. What are your thoughts on carbs causing insulin resistance? Some say that the theory of carbs causing insulin resistance was debunked. Well, it depends on how many carbs you eat. And if you're chronically eating carbs and your glycogen stores are fully saturated chronically, then yeah, you'll get insulin resistance. And how much fat do you take with that, and how much protein? So you have to look at the total picture, Brad. And again, if somebody can't explain that to you, yeah, it's been debunked. Okay, show me 6 studies, make a deep dive about it, and convince me. Convince me, please. Instead of just saying it in a 30-second, it's been debunked, 30-second Instagram reel or TikTok short. Tell me more. Show me a citation, and not a PubMed link, you fucking asshole. Show me a real citation. Name, date, title, publication, DOI link, and a link to the full study. The full study, not PubMed, not Google Scholar. I want to see a fucking PDF on Science Hub or mdpi.com. Right? So, anyway, yes, you can get insulin resistance if you eat too many carbs, but you have to look at the total picture. You're not just doing too many carbs. You might be doing MK677 or eating too much saturated fat or sitting on the couch like a fat piece of shit, not exercising, so. Could Wellbutrin be used instead of Caber or Pramipexole? Well, it increases your dopamine levels, which could reduce your prolactin levels. Technically, I know modafinil lowers prolactin levels by having some dopaminergic effect. So, say no more. Just put BAM 15 in there, bro. Take my fucking gallbladder out. When you use your protocol, taking 2, I use rapid insulin, waiting for glucagon is crazy hardcore stuff. Yeah, but I tried it. I tried it myself. And I always tell people it's not for the faint of heart. But I tried it myself. I did it many years. And now I use Ritrotide. So we go from one protocol to the next. Come on, man, do some research. Oh, you paid for it. All right. Any side effects? You have a lot of energy, and fat loss will be easier. Yeah, but you still need to diet and exercise, obviously. Oh, and it costs a lot of money. Yeah. How would you achieve financial freedom if you had to start all over again? Well, obviously, you learn a lot on the way, so it would not be fair. Let's say I lose all of my money now. I don't lose my YouTube channel, so I could leverage that. I have social proof. I have 150,000 subscribers. I have a loyal fan base. So even if I really had to start all over again, I'd do the exact same thing, because I make more money from my subscribers than other fields. Or I could go into finance, right? I could do a YouTube channel for finance, which would be good, which would be funny, because I'd start from zero, but then over the course of the YouTube channel developing, I'd go from zero to good money again, and show people exactly how to do it without selling them a masterclass. This is how you achieve financial freedom. Buy my masterclass. And you can get you can get a 5% kickback if you recommend this masterclass to somebody else. It's called a Ponzi scheme, you piece of shit. You piece of shit. No, but I would leverage social media hard. I would either do a drug channel or a finance channel. Like the affiliate sales, guys, it's fucking insane. It's fucking insane how much I do from affiliate sales. You don't want to know. It's more than my subscriber count every month in dollars. And I don't know many channels that make more than their subscriber count. So if every subscriber is good for $1 or $2 or $3, imagine how much money other YouTube channels would be making, but they're not making that. Like, what was his name? Derek. Oh, Derek, yeah, Derek, well, but it's not getting directly from his subscribers because he has a business and a fuckload of affiliates generating sales for him. So I'm my own, I don't have my own business, right? I generate money through the affiliates, and then my own business is basically personalized services. So that's good for a year's salary every month, a good year's salary every month in personalized services. And then the affiliate sales on top of that is more than my subscriber count in dollars. So do the fucking math. So it's basically several year salaries every month. And I don't know anywhere else where you could do that. High ticket sales, basically. But I don't know how to do high ticket sales. I know how to do quantity of low ticket sales. Well, I have high ticket sales. I'd have that 10-hour consultation package. So that's at least 1-2 a month. Consultations are still an hour, give or take, per day in total. So sometimes it's an hour, sometimes it's 3 times 20 minutes, and do the math on that. You know, it adds up. But yeah, I would leverage social media. I would save all the money that I don't need until I feel comfortable that I have enough money that I need for the rest of my life, and then start spending, which is what I accomplished when I was 40 years old. And so now I feel like spending. Yeah, and it sucks for you guys because the time that I spend looking at motorbikes and how to build a fucking nice house, I could be spending on making more content, but I kind of did the work already since I was 15 years old. And I'm kind of tired. I'm kind of bored with it, you know? Imagine this, right? Since you're 15, every time you make money, you make like, let's say $1,500 a month. You spend $500, you put $1,000 away. It's 2/3 of your income. And you keep doing that until you're 40 years old. So let's say you earn $100,000 a month. You spend $5,000 on yourself. You don't buy a stupid car. You don't buy stupid clothes. You don't buy bullshit. You just put $95,000 away in appreciable assets. And you keep doing that year upon year upon year upon year upon year. Every month I started at zero. Every fucking month I started at zero. I pay my bills, my credit cards, whatever I need. My staff, obviously, right? I spend way more than that on staff right now. I spend like $18,000 on staff. People that help me with the YouTube channel, research assistant, editors. I have 2 editors. Personal assistant. My wife gets a good chunk of money because she's proven her point and she doesn't need to work. So I lose $18,000 on salaries, and you know, some gifts to my family that I support. And then I spend a little bit on myself, and the rest is I put it away. I just put it away. I did that for years, and then I let that accumulate, mostly in cryptocurrency, but I also bought license plates and flipped those. And Thailand, you buy a license plate for $100,000, you sell it for $500,000 a little bit later on, right? It's flipping something. So but I never lived to that. I didn't buy a sports car. I didn't buy this. I didn't buy shit. And the only time I would go ham is on holiday. You know, then I wouldn't give a fuck. When I go to the U.S., it was my goal to spend $1,000 per day. Or I go on holiday here in Pattaya. I just want to blow money. It's a holiday. Fuck. $60 for a cocktail. Fuck it. You know, just give me twice a year. Give me that. So that's what I did, and I put all the money away. I let it accumulate, and uh, and then at one point I was like, you know what? I don't need to live like a broke fucking loser anymore. So now when I shop, at if I wanted to buy the BMW 1250 RT, it's $27,000 in the Western world, and it's $40,000 here. And I didn't hesitate. I just fucking bought it. And then I saw the secondhand motorbike, $6,000, sure. Service it, $500 on top. Another $500 to $1,000 for a paint job, sure. And then I see another motorbike, Goldwing, 1 million baht. That's $30,000, sure. So something in my mind clicked or switched, and it's very liberating. But I worked for that for 25 years. 25 years. I'm 41, turning 42 next month. Yeah, so here in Thailand, you can buy license plates that are the same as in Dubai and other countries. They love their one license plate, or A1, or 666, or 999, or 555. So they have auctions for that, and you can't go as a foreigner. Here in Thailand, you can't go as a foreigner, but I have Thai friends who go there. And then I said they post which license plates they're going to auction off. So, you talk with the silly as fuck. You talk with a fortune teller. It's very Thai. You talk with a fortune teller on which license plates or phone numbers. We did that for a while also. Which are auspicious, which have a good good feng shui, good karma, and then you bid on that, and then and then later on you put it up for auction again when the timing is right, and then you flip it for, I don't know, 100K, 200K, 400K, and then instead of taking that money and buying yourself a sports car, you put it away into assets. You start your month at zero again. So, Steve, why do you never have money? I said, just put it all away, man. What's the point? you know uh, what are you going to do? Run another cerebral license cycle? I'm good, man. I'm just gonna stay on fluvoxamine, and that's it. I'm asking for money advice because I'm from a third world country. We don't have job opportunities here. Then move somewhere else. But if you're from a third world country, then your passport is probably not as valuable as mine. But dude, there's always opportunity, man. You just got to grab it. It just sucks to make the first $10,000. And then after that, you can say no to jobs and be a little bit more selective. But you just got to fucking hustle, man. 80 hours a week until you're financially secure. It sucks, but that's the only way. There's no easy way. I've been fucking broke, and again, I treated myself like I was broke because I started every month at zero. And then the first week, you're like, fuck, man, I got $18,000 worth of salaries to pay. You're pretty fucking motivated then. I started the month at zero. No, you're actually $18,000 in debt because you have creditors. You've got to pay their fucking salary. You got contracts with these people, man. So yeah, that makes you very motivated. And it also makes you spend less. So I never buy bullshit. I never bought bullshit. Bought shit on discount. It's until recently. I just don't give a fuck. I just buy what I want to buy. How do you feel like you're retired? Yeah, no, not really, because I still have to manage my assets, right? And I still have to work. I mean, I still do this Vigorous Q&A, which I enjoy. And I'll get back to making videos at one point because I still like to give back to the community and educate you guys. Because how much good education is out there? Let's be honest. Right? Somebody has to do it. Somebody has to make deep dives with citations. Might as well be me. Everybody else just does a minute on TikTok. Doesn't fucking count, man. You're not making a difference. You're not making a difference. You're just regurgitating. There's regurgitators and originators, and I'd rather be an originator. So I'm not retired. I'm just taking a little sabbatical, right, to focus on my wife, my kid, and my cats, who obviously are a little bit jealous because we're spending so much time with the baby. So that means I have to do extra playing and petting. So we got 3 sessions per day of cat time when my wife's working with the baby. And then, But now I can afford that. The time, basically, the time, because I built up my finances. And again, that was the goal. Build up enough finances before we had a kid. And then now with a kid, I can just say, I don't want to work. I should record a video today. So it's been like I've been procrastinating for like 8 weeks now, and I should get back to it. But you just please give this to me. I've been working 80 hours per week again since I was 15. So yeah, I'm basically retired from working 80 hours per week, but I'm still working, I don't know, 4 hours, 5 hours a day. Yeah, give or take. Yeah, there's so many ways to make money. Yeah, everything can make money, man. Dude, I sold supplements. I bought them on iHerb in bulk. In fucking bulk. With discount. We use a discount code from my wife's mom, and then a discount code, so we just send it back. You get a kickback, right? You just fucking flip-flop the account, even though it's the same person, different credit cards. So we get the 5% kickback and 5% discount. I would order like hundreds of thousands of bots of supplements and then resell them to my clients in Myanmar or Bhutan or Hong Kong or Laos or Cambodia, because they didn't have international banking. They didn't have credit cards there. But they had like friends that worked as a distribution, DHL or something like that. And they could get these supplements in tax-free in the country with, hand carry or some stewardess that would have a friend. So I would charge them 25, 50%, depending on the quantity. And they would not have to pay import tax that way. And because I couldn't have a credit card, they couldn't do international banking properly. Everybody would win, right? But I would make a 50% or 25% commission, depending on the bulk. So I did that, resell supplements. And so I get like 10 packages per day. So it would bypass customs here. Now it's automatically charged. But back in the day, yeah, you could just fucking order 10 packages, five packages per address, and would just go through without getting import taxed. Now they automatically charge it. So you make like another fucking $3,000 per month or something on distributing supplements, basically, throughout Asia. And then, I might point people in the right direction for the right pharmacies for a commission. just for metformin, bro. You put yourself in that supply chain. I used to make bikinis for the competitors here because they were way too expensive in the US. And the ones that were being produced locally, they were just shit quality. So I saw an opportunity. I made bikinis for my wife. All the competitors here loved it. Yes, it's a lot of sewing and a lot of gluing. I had time. Fuck it, man. I had so many clients, so many sales for supplements, and I had another 5 hours per day to make bikinis. So I just worked. I made bikinis. Yeah, I'm not afraid of it. I sold 25 or maybe 30 bikinis, and I put all that money into crypto, and that's how I became financially secure in 2017. I bought at the bottom. How much money did I make? I think I made like $25,000 profit. Now I sold more bikinis than 30, maybe 50 or something. I made about $25 worth of profit, and that's minimum wage if you looked into how much time I spent gluing those fucking rhinestones on there. Put that into crypto, and then I sold pretty much at the top. So that's, selling bikinis is how I became financially secure. And I'm not afraid of it, man. I'm not ashamed of it at all. I did personal training. I did posing practice. I did coaching. I did consultations. I did fucking everything, man. I did fucking everything. If I had time for it, and if it was worth my time, I fucking did it. And then COVID happened. I started this YouTube channel with a little bit of a lift off from Tony Huge and Derek More Plates, More Dates. So I grew a little bit faster than average. And with all that 10 years, 15 years of coaching experience, I grew pretty fast because I had street cred, right? So and then of course I stopped making bikinis, and I stopped selling supplements, and I stopped doing personal training and posing advice and all that stuff because it was no longer worth my time. So you dispose of a couple revenue streams to scale other revenue streams up. So now I charge $2,400 per hour for consultations, which sounds insane, but I get it every day. Everything can make money, man. You just got to go. The internet and life is literally a sea of money. All you have to do is go out and grab it. Really. You just got to go fucking grab it. And with that, we're at the end of the Q&A. All right. Otherwise, we're just going to... What's your favorite oral? Excluding Anavar. Injectable YK11. Yeah, I like injectable YK11. That was a good experiment. Fucking pumped. Should add that back in. Straight into the chest. With some Increlex. And some modern aminos. The motivator. Once you see each. And a little bit of Soma Chem's Pump XXL. Oh, man. Just... fucking here. Boobas galore. All right, last one. Last super chat. But no more super chats after this, guys. AI first week on test EQ until EQ kicks in. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You don't aromatize that fast. Unless you're a fat piece of shit over 20% body fat. But don't worry about it. Check your blood work 4 weeks into it. And your estradiol levels will probably be in range. Assuming that your testosterone to EQ ratio is 1:1. Right? And if it's not in range, then you change the ratio. All right, guys, that was it. Thanks for joining in. I can't promise you when I'll be back, but when I'm back, you know it's going to be good. Thanks for joining in. What was this guy's name that sent me like $120? Where is he? I mean, $100, guys. You guys send me way too much money. Here, Ben Hawkins. Dude, you send me so much money. Much appreciated. I'm going to build that Soundwave Lego set in your name. Laserbeak is going to be very happy. And thanks, you guys, for all the super chats. I mean, this was a legendary session again. And just for all of your support. Because even though I haven't worked or done any real work, the money still has been going in. And I have you guys to thank for. So if you want me to produce videos, stop using stop using my discount codes. So I feel pressure to get back to work. But I think next week I'll be recording again. Yeah. All right, guys. Peace out. Enjoy your weekend. And we'll see you on the next Vigorous Q&A dropping on a Saturday soon. All right. Take it easy.